Yeah, I was just gonna come on here a little bit and discuss some things that's going on. But this is actually something old I was talking about already. This is a video I was actually looking for from a lot of people when I sit up here and said about Keyshawn Davis' mom getting some insults from Tank Davis. I was like, man, we ain't gonna have nobody speak on this. When it did happen, this was before Keyshawn had his fight. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody gonna say nothing about this. But I wasn't surprised people didn't really discuss it because, you know, they didn't want to have to put any attention on it. But I seen people saying certain things like about Keyshawn Davis, what he had said to Tank today. And they were saying how it was disrespectful. Bro, once somebody disrespect your mom, it's over with. The respect is going out the window. So y'all thinking about boxing. But once somebody disrespects your mom, it's a wrap. Anybody mom. Everybody ready to go to jail over that. So when it goes to certain things like that, but you can handle it in the ring though. If it's that serious where you gotta insult somebody's mom, you gotta handle that in the ring then. And it's a unification. You gotta make that happen. I'm not too impressed with somebody's bringing somebody's mom into the situation. So when he said that today, or whenever the interview was, I was like, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Because at first it was like, yeah, I just want to fight you. But now it's like, I really want to fight you. For the money or not, I want to fight you. That's how he's looking at it now. He like, money or no money, I want to fight you. Because once people start slandering your name like that, and put your mom into it, like she has nothing to do with what was going on as far as boxing. And this dude got two brothers that's boxers. So, I mean, if you want to make that happen, you can do that as well. But yeah, it done got a little serious now. See, it was just friendly competition after a while, but the fact that he brought it up, he thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Ain't nobody letting that slide. The fans can say what they want. They can holler as much as they want in the comments and bring up Andy Cruz's name. That ain't got nothing to do with this situation. And I don't even know why people be bringing. My thing is right here when it comes to Andy Cruz, when people bring his name up. Is he gonna fight Shakur Stevenson or Tank or something like that? Because I see people bringing his name up all the time with Keyshawn Davis. And that lets me know that they don't know that many guys at 135. Because Andy Cruz has a lot of fighters that with or without Keyshawn Davis, he's going to have a lot of trouble with at those weight classes. From 35 to 40, especially 40. You see guys already tiptoeing around 40. Pitbull went to 40 and couldn't last up there that long. But when I seen that, I was like, man, it's weird out here now. It's weird out here. You ain't even supposed to play a side when it comes to how guys are insulting family members. You're not supposed to play a side in that, but fans will do that now. It's a new day in boxing. It definitely is. It's not like how it used to be. They're getting a lot more personal now with certain things, certain people. So when that usually happens, you know, somebody gotta do something. So I like that Keyshawn Davis called that out because that was extremely disrespectful. And anybody who don't understand that, you know, you can't really get them to understand. They're not gonna want to understand. But as far as disrespecting, he gonna have to see him eventually. And that's just honestly. He's gonna definitely have to see him. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And And with him being a person who's unified, that can face him, come on, man. You got to make that fight happen. Like, once you get to a point where you got to insult somebody's mom, man, it's time to fight them. It's time to fight. So at the end of the day, anybody, if that fight don't get made, it's an automatic duck for me. It's that extreme now. It's that extreme. It got serious as soon as I heard that. And I did a video about it. So I just ain't gossiping over no views. I don't know when I put that video up. Let me see. When did I put this video up? I had to be in like November. I forgot what he said specifically, but I was like, what? Where is this coming from? But that's why Keyshawn came out and said what he said today. That's why he came out and said what he said. Yeah, he's definitely not playing with him. And he's still thinking about it. So he knows already, like, okay, that's how we talking? Cool. That's going to make for a better storyline, but I don't think that's something to play with, though. That's not something that you would want to say to somebody so you can get some views. Or some clicks or some likes. That's definitely not something to play with. But it's going to get serious real soon. But you got to make that fight happen. You got to. And what I'm noticing is a lot of people don't want to make that fight happen, man. These dudes fighting around the same time, 2 weeks apart. This is the perfect time. You know what's crazy? Keyshawn and Shakur fighting 2 weeks away from when Tank Davis is going to fight. So at this point right now, Tank Davis can pick any of those guys to fight because they're going to be available at the same time. But the fans aren't really pushing for it, man. They don't want to see these guys in the ring. They don't want to see it. I've never seen anything like this before. They'll talk about how all these other boxers ain't fought nobody and how they duck in and everything else. That's a conversation every day. What has this guy done? And this guy can go make money with this person. Bro, boxing's still going to be in the dumpster after that. It's still going to be in the dumpster. Like, I don't know if people know it or not, but a couple of undisputed fights, and it's been so ran down at this point. Jake Paul still got the attention of the fans. And we got some of the biggest fights we done had in years coming up. And Jake Paul still got the attention of the fans. Because everybody ain't doing their job. They ain't putting the best fights together. A lot of people peek back in and say, hey, what kind of fights they having in boxing right now? And when they find out guys ain't fighting the best, they like, oh, well, you know. That's why you had a lot of people tune in to see Jake Paul and that Tyson fight, because they want to see the best fight. But like I said, this new generation, what's going on, everybody in chat? My bad. He said, we run boxing. Told you 2025 Mexican. Bro, have you been watching the news, man? Ain't nobody thinking about that right now. He said we run boxing. You talking about the guy who, you talking about Munguia, Mexican boxing #1? You talking about Munguia who working out with Canelo right now, Mexican boxing? What's up, DJ Rush? You talking about Munguia who got to train with Canelo right now because he got knocked out? That's what you talking about? I know you didn't tell me to quiet. Canelo resume looking weaker and weaker as each day go by. I think people forget that Munguia got knocked out by an unknown fighter last year. Canelo couldn't even knock out Munguia last year. Think about it. I'll talk about that later on tomorrow, but come on, man. Be humble. Please don't come in here throwing no flags up when Munguia just got knocked out in Mexico. Yeah. We haven't had a top fighter knock out anybody in Mexico in a long time. Yeah, Shakur gonna end up moving up. I don't know if he gonna move up before Keyshawn Davis, but he gonna end up moving up. I don't know if bro know it or not. I'm gonna tell you this: Mexican boxing #1. I don't know if you know it or not, but William Zepeda, nobody's even thinking about him no more. The fact that y'all running around talking about Tito Machado was a prospect last year, and he's at 140. And I seen a guy that Barbosa stopped that Tito Machado couldn't even stop. So I got to see a lot more from Machado. I see some guys that Barbosa have stopped. Arnold Barbosa is a better boxer right now. Might not believe that. He's Mexican too, so. Might not believe that, but Barbosa's a better fighter at 140. That's why I'm saying I don't know if this. What's going on, Quad Life? I don't know if when people say the Mexican love, bro, I just want the Mexican fans to learn they boxers. I hear a lot of fans running around talking about Tito Machado. He not better than Arnold Barbosa right now. Tito Machado ain't even the best. He not even the best Mexican at 140. Dude was a prospect last year. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Yeah, I don't know why they don't know it or not, bro, but how do I say this? I don't know if they know it or not, but the top Mexican fighters right now are guys who just arrived. Like Espinoza, he only had like 2 fights in America. He's like the best Mexican fighter in the game right now. I hear a lot of people saying, well, Keyshawn need to fight Machado. He need to fight Andy Cruz. Is Keyshawn Davis the face of boxing? Why do everybody want to see Keyshawn Davis fight somebody? I thought last year it was De Los Santos that everybody was talking about before he fought before he fought Shakur Stevenson. De Los Santos, now mind you, listen to this now. Before De Los Santos fought Shakur Stevenson, everybody said he was a killer. Now he ain't that good no more. They done went from Tito Machado, from Isaac Cruz to Tito Machado. They don't like Tito no more. They said Rayo was gonna get knocked out by Isaac Cruz. Yeah, I don't even know who the best Mexican fighters is. I'm very disappointed in the Mexican fans because y'all don't even know who the best Mexican fighters are. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. One of your best Mexican fighters is fighting this weekend, getting 0 support. I feel bad for that. Barbosa, one of the best fighters in Mexican fighters, and he fighting this weekend. Just beat the guy that Jose Ramirez. And y'all supporting the prospect? Mexican boxing ain't gonna grow like that. It ain't gonna grow like that. You got Mexican fighters right now who need support, but y'all out here supporting prospects over the guys who's #1 contenders. That's crazy. Do you think that Tank is afraid to move up and be great, even though he did move up one time? Shoot, you know the answer to that. You know the answer to that. Tank Davis go out there and fight Keyshawn, Shakur Stevenson. Let's just throw De Los Santos in there. He fight. Let me throw Andy Cruz in there. Tank fight Andy Cruz, Keyshawn, Shakur Stevenson, and let me throw De Los Santos in there. All those guys at 135. He gonna lose one of those fights. The fact that he's fighting all those guys in front of Lamont Roach, y'all already know what time it is. Y'all already know what time it is. That man fighting Lamont Roach, man. You got to realize it ain't about what I think. It's about how Tank resume gonna look in about 5 years. You know what I'm saying? 2 years ago, Eastside Cruz looked real good on that resume. Now that resume starting to look like, I told people, I put a video out like probably 11, 12 months ago. Nah, 14 months ago. And I said Tank Davis is pound for pound right now, but I don't think his resume is going to be able to hold up over the next 24 months, over the next 2 years, because you got to think about it. Keyshawn Davis finna fight an Olympian from Ukraine for a championship belt right now. It's at a certain point, man. Is it about dudes ain't getting that much money in boxing? Let's be clear. I think the thing that's going on right now is people trying to make excuses like, well, you know, Tank's the money guy. Dudes ain't getting paid like that fighting Tank. I'm going to just be real with you. Guys ain't getting paid. The guys ain't getting paid like that. That's it. When they fight Tank, guys ain't getting paid like that. So Keyshawn Davis, for him to even be trying to fight him like that, that should be, fans should be trying to cheer that on, but I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen nothing like it. But it's not going to affect me as far as I don't like Tank or nothing like that. I mean, I like Tank, but as far as I don't need Tank to have boxing great though. Floyd Schofield finna fight Shakur Stevenson. Abdullah Mason is fighting guys. Keyshawn Davis is fighting top competition, and people been laughing at Keyshawn Davis. And you know what? I did a video last February where people said Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin was ducking. Last February, people said Keyshawn. I did a whole live. Ain't getting that many views, but I did a whole live where I was saying Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin wasn't ducking. But a lot of people were saying that just 12 months ago. So 12 months in boxing is a lifetime. "12 months in boxing is a lifetime." But people got to be realistic though. Everybody know Eastside Cruz ain't on no level as no Keyshawn Davis. Let's be real, man. I keep hearing people talking about Tank Davis got, and I ain't trying to go in on Tank, I'm just saying. I keep hearing people say Tank Davis had one hand against Eastside Cruz. I'm like, damn, he ain't got power in both hands? People say Tank got all this knockout power. Do y'all know that it's people in boxing that knock people out with broken hands? Deontay Wilder had a broken hand before and knocked the dude out. That's why I said the power y'all be talking about is different. It's different, bro. When you can knock out somebody 50 pounds heavier than you with a broke hand. Like, boxing is a science for real. So when people say, man, Tank had a broke hand against so-and-so, Deontay Wilder just fought his last 2 fights with a broke arm. His whole arm was broken. And his shoulder was tore up. You don't hear nobody out here saying, man, the reason why Wilder went 12 rounds with Parker is because his arm was broken. You can Google it. That's an excuse they use for certain fighters, but man, please, I ain't trying to hear that. That resume looking shaky. Lamont Roaston already knocked down Hector Garcia. The only thing they doing right now is Ryan Garcia. I'm telling you, Ryan Garcia saved that resume. That's why they went. Bro, y'all should have seen the stuff I seen last night. If y'all, I can't let it out right now because it's too much. If y'all would see you know how I go on these lives and I just be talking about all this stuff I be saying? If y'all would have seen the stuff I seen last night and the stuff I've been hearing over the last few days and months, especially like the last couple of weeks, I don't know if everybody knows it or not, but they are going full blast on this PED situation with everybody. It's a lot of y'all might not notice it, but it's a lot of boxers right now retiring because they scared to get caught. It's a lot of stuff going on that people don't realize. And I think in the future, I'm going to go ahead and just hold on to a lot of it. because I've said so much that, you know, the information is so much information out here. I know everybody ain't watch all 3,000 of my videos. So it's so much information I done put out here. But people playing catch up right now. They gonna let what I'm watching, what I'm seeing right now, it's a lot of feelings involved in boxing, and it's not working. It's not working. Yeah, the popularity, everything is too much. I mean, Keyshawn is not what I call a popular guy. I mean, he got popular off the Lemos fight, but he was already somebody that everybody was talking about already. You got to think about it. Keyshawn only has a certain amount of fights. He's only been pro a certain amount of time, and since the Olympics. And people are already looking at him as a guy to fight the guys that Tank hasn't fought at 135. Just look at every video. When somebody sits up here and says, man, Keyshawn need to fight Andy Cruz, that's a fan, man. That's somebody being a fan. That's a fan. That's a fan. That's a fan. Because if Andy Cruz do win, who you going to want him to fight next? So you more worried about, because Keyshawn doesn't have a belt yet. I'm expecting him to have one this weekend. But we got a lot of fans out. Let me tell you how popular Keyshawn Davis is. Keyshawn Davis is so popular at this point right now that people know who he lost to in the amateurs, and the man has a silver medal. They think that getting a silver medal in the Olympics is an insult. Think about that. Think about that. And this guy, Andy Cruz, almost 30 years old. And they think that getting a silver medal is an insult. So he's gonna, like I said, made the last video, he's gonna end up replacing this guy. And Abdullah Mason gonna end up replacing him. And his brother at 47 is gonna make sure that anything that come up there is getting smoked. Because Tank Davis was mentioning his mama too. And I don't know if people know it or not, but my favorite Davis brother is not Keyshawn or Keon. Well, Keon, I like Keon, I ain't gonna lie. But I like Kelvin. I like Kelvin the most. I like Kelvin. You said Keyshawn don't want it. How? You said Keyshawn don't want to recruit. You think Andy Cruz better than Tank Davis? Dry turkey. Let me ask you a question. You think Andy Cruz better than Tank Davis? If I hear another person say Keyshawn Davis is ducking Andy Cruz or something like that, I mean, yeah, if I hear another person say that, from now on, I promise, I'm petty like that, because I've been hearing that way too much. If I hear that again, I'm gonna start saying that Andy Cruz is better than Tank Davis, because if we talking about amateurs now, people say the amateurs don't matter. If people keep talking like Andy Cruz amateur record, what he did in the amateurs, because people say, oh, the amateurs don't matter. The amateurs don't matter until everybody talking about Andy Cruz. Y'all notice that? You notice that, right? Amateurs don't matter until it comes to Andy Cruz. Because that's the only person they know that gave Keyshawn Davis a tough fight. You said 4-0 in the amateur, though. Man, Andy Cruz almost 30 years old, man. Andy Cruz supposed to beat Keyshawn Davis in the amateurs. That man was almost 30 years old in the amateurs. That man has 6 fights right now. This man almost 30 years old. If Andy Cruz was that good, he would have came out when he was 18 like everybody else did. Andy Cruz was like 25 in the Olympics fighting. 24, 25. Man should have been came out. Devin Haney been pro since he was what, 17, 16, something like that? Yeah, he need to be 4-0. The man was almost 30 years old in the Olympics. Why is everybody overlooking that? And I like Andy Cruz. Y'all ain't learned from Lomachenko running around trying to fight little young guys? At 34 years old? They said the same thing about Lomachenko. Do you know how many? Man, let me pull up Lomachenko's record. Cause dudes think Andy Cruz is Lomachenko or something. Lomachenko will probably smoke Andy Cruz right now. What are we talking about, man? Lomachenko will probably smoke Andy Cruz right now. You said Morrell was older and Morrell just lost. Like I said he was gonna do. And Madrimov is better than what everybody said. Like I said he was gonna be. You just proved my point, Dry Turkey. Everybody said Madrimov is trash. We'll see in a week and a half when he fight Virgil Ortiz how trash Madrimov is. See the difference between Terrence Crawford and a guy like Tank Davis, Madrimov is gonna make sure that Terrence Crawford resume gonna look better. You say it's a big fight? No, it's not. No, it's not. It ain't a big fight. It's not a big fight. Nobody said Terrence Crawford versus Madrimov was a big fight. They said he was fighting nobody. I'm not, just because Virgil Ortiz's name is involved, and I like Virgil Ortiz, I'm not finna let everybody get a pass like that. I see the play already. It's Virgil Ortiz, so yeah, it's a big fight because Virgil Ortiz is in the fight. If it was when Terrence Crawford fought Madrimov, he only had 10 fights. I'm telling you, this is something I always break down, man. Everybody just playing catch up to me. And you just brought up Morrell and Madrimov. I'm glad you did that. Hold on real quick. Where is the thumbnail I had? Let me show you something real quick. Where is the thumbnail I had? Where did Madrimov? Oh, here it go. Let me put this up here. I made this in August after Terrence Crawford fought Madrimov. I made this after Terrence Crawford fought Madrimov. When everybody said Terrence Crawford just lost to a bum, Madrimov. So I remember everything. I'm gonna make everybody eat their words. You say international fighters want to become pro while Americans want the money. Huh? You're not even making sense. What the hell are you talking about, boy? International fighters wait to become pro while Americans want the money. They're not good enough to come pro at 18. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's why I'm saying this anti-American stuff y'all be doing. That's why I be talking like I do. What are you talking about? The hell is you talking about, man? That's why I'm getting all that stuff out of boxing. I'm exposing all of it. If we can't build boxing up, I'm gonna just expose it. Cause what's left ain't really that good anyways. This right here exposes everything people talking about. So at the end of the day, nobody can talk to me about Morrell, Madrimov. Do you see the question marks? Not ready for Madrimov, but ready for Morrell. And the guy Morrell lost to, Madrimov beat. I don't hear nobody running around talk. This is how I know everybody just don't like Keyshawn Davis. I don't hear nobody telling Morrell to get his get back for old laces and glaces. Guess what I'm gonna do a live on tomorrow? Let me go ahead and write that down. I'm gonna make a whole live in the morning about Morrell trying to get his get back. And that's the last thing I'm gonna say about Morrell and Madrimov. Let me write that down real quick. Morrell needs to get his get back get his revenge like Keyshawn Davis, like they say Keyshawn Davis needs. And don't get the views twisted. Everybody running around heard me talking about Nakatani and Bam Rodriguez. Y'all can thank my boxing channel for my little boxing channel that everybody too. But you can thank my little boxing channel right now for being the first one to bring up that Bam Rodriguez. You can thank this little boxing channel right here. You said Iglesias beat Morrell, bro. You getting timed out 5 minutes. You didn't know that? You getting timed out, bro. You should get timed out, bro. You almost got timed out just then. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I almost timed you out. Bro, you have to go, bro. You have to go, bro. You have to go, bro. You don't know boxing. It's levels. It's levels. You got BoxRec on the internet right now. You never looked at David Morrell's amateur record and seen that he lost to Iglesias. Bro, go to BoxRec. Go find you something to do, bro. Yeah, but like I was saying, Keyshawn Davis, yeah, go find you something to do, bro. But Keyshawn Davis, man, people know that he's a star. Because you sitting up here talking about Keyshawn Davis, what he need to do with Andy Cruz. You don't even know that Morrell fought Iglesias and lost in the amateurs. You don't even know that. You don't even know that David Morrell just left 168 because he didn't want to fight Iglesias. Because Iglesias is now number 4 in the WBC. He's going to be a champion in the next 12 months, possibly. Well, not in the next 12 months because Canelo's holding everything up. So he might be a number 1 contender or intern champion by next year. Because, you know, William Skull is not even the best fighter in William Skull is not even the best fighter in Cuba. See, I'm giving away too much credit. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, that's another thing. I'll write that down real quick. You said, what's that have to do with Keyshawn Davis and Cruz? It has everything to do with Keyshawn Davis and Cruz because it shows that you're more of a fan of Keyshawn Davis because you know that he, for some reason, right now, if you ask anybody, they will say David Morrell's a bigger star because he fought on pay-per-view against David Benavidez. Why does everybody know about Keyshawn Davis' amateur losses, but they don't know about Morrell? Probably because he didn't go to the Olympics and get a silver medal. That's probably one reason. The number 2 reason might be because he only got 12 or 13 fights, and the only person you know is Hot Rod and Benavidez on his resume. And a third reason might be because people say the amateurs don't matter, but they say Andy Cruz is somewhat of a threat. He's a threat because he went, 3 or 4 rounds with Keyshawn Davis and he got a decision. So he's supposed to be a threat. He ain't no knockout artist. I seen him just get outboxing not too long ago where he was struggling a couple of rounds with a guy that Devin Haney got up out of there years ago. Dude was struggling with Antonio Moran. And Moran a good fighter. Struggle with him. How you gonna struggle with Antonio Moran and then you gonna try to jump in the ring with Keyshawn? I think Andy Cruz will struggle with Lemos right now. So we have to understand what the pro game is. You said Rick Glaser just reported that Morrell did only 70,000 pay-per-view buys. Rick Glaser don't know what he's talking about. Rick Glaser doesn't know what he's talking about. Rick Glaser he's not as smart as y'all think he is. Rick Glaser is the same guy that sat up here and tell everybody that Devin Haney don't need to sue and why would he sue and everything else, but He doesn't even know that other boxers have sued over battery when it comes to PED use. I thought he was a boxing expert. I don't like to hear that guy's name. He's not a boxing expert. Ain't that the same guy that said PBC was done? That's the same guy, right? Oh, okay. When is PBC gonna be done? Because everybody else is done already. Why PBC ain't done yet? Why was everybody watching PBC last week if they done? Did you watch the David Morrell and Benavidez fight? Was that a good fight that PBC put on? Because Rick Glacier don't think PBC puts on good fights. Was that David Morrell and Benavidez fight good? That guy don't know what y'all think he knows. Yeah, same guy. Yeah, I don't like to hear about that guy. What he won't tell you is that Golden Boy has to basically put all their fighters out there because they ain't got much going on right now. He's not gonna say certain things about Golden Boy. See, Golden Boy had to go over there with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Unless you're just gonna ride it out with Ryan Garcia all the way. Yeah, Rick Glacier doesn't even like PBC, man. He's a weirdo. And no disrespect to him, I'm just being real. PBC has put on more undisputed fights than any other place. Before last year, it wasn't that many undisputed fights until Tyson Fury and Usyk started fighting each other. So when he says all that PBC stuff, I understand what he's saying, but shut up. Say that about everybody. He's a clown. You said what? I don't even know what you're talking about, 556 Punisher. What are you talking about? You might be behind in the show. Or you might have just been sitting in the bushes. You trying to compare Majamov and Morrell? Is that what you're doing? I'm not even trying to make that about this. I ain't even got to talking about the Abdullah Mason yet. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, but Majamov, if he knocks out Virgil Ortiz, are you going to be thinking about how the blood fight went the whole way? So what? Canelo went the whole way with Triple G. Canelo just went the whole way with Majamov, with Munguia. Bro, y'all don't know what y'all... See, that's what I'm saying. That's a whole nother live right there. See, y'all exposing y'allself. Didn't Canelo just go the distance with Munguia? What's better, going the distance with Munguia or going the distance with Majamov? Let me ask you that question. 556, because you typed the whole lot. That's that second one. So what's better, going 12 rounds with Majamov or going 12 rounds with Munguia? Let me answer that question for me. Could you answer that question for me? What's better, going 12 rounds with Majamov or going 12 rounds with Munguia? I'm waiting on you. And this is where you find out dudes don't know nothing about boxing. Bro, you can't even, that's what I'm saying. This dude don't know boxing, man. He ain't even answering the question. He's not even answering the question. It's over with. It's over with. You above, hey, I'm above your pay grade, bro. It's above your pay grade. It's above your pay grade, man. It's above your pay grade. It's above your pay grade. It's above your pay grade. Canelo couldn't knock out a guy who just got knocked out by a 160. That doesn't have a lot of knockouts. And he's from France. And he's white. From France. This is not one of those African guys from France. It's a white guy from France. So as long as you can forget about that, you ain't no boxing fan. And that's a whole nother live I'm gonna make. But I'm gonna go back to this Keyshawn Davis thing, because the Majramov thing. I'm gonna leave this picture up here for everybody who's a hardcore Morrell fan or who believes in Morrell a couple of weeks ago. Everybody who believed in Morrell a couple of weeks, bandwagon now. Yeah, look at Majramov. Man, you don't know boxing, Punisher. I'm gonna ignore you now. I'd rather talk to Dry Turkey. Exactly, Dry Turkey. You know what I'm saying? Dry Turkey. He ain't agreeing with nothing I'm saying, but he knows you're capping. He like, bro, get out of here. Even Dry Turkey knows you don't know what you're talking about. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Y'all can't really troll about boxing over here. This ain't one of those boxing channels. I ain't gotta yell about nothing. I just kind of killed all that already. It's over with. It's over. This is all you see right here with Majramov and Morrell. I did this in August, bro. I do this. Matter of fact, I need some support on here. Hit the cash up, cause I'm putting out real news. I ain't gonna be on here long. These other channels y'all be talking about, man, they ain't talking about nothing, man. See, this is why he said I'm being biased. What's up, Saba? He said I'm being biased. Bro, what are you talking about, man? I'm gonna let you talk to the chat. I'm gonna let you talk to them. I'm gonna talk to the other guys I know, Dry Turkey and Saba. Because Virgil Ortiz, when him and Majramov fight in a week and a half, they fight in Majramov and Virgil Ortiz fights in 12 days. Let's see if anybody's talking about Terrence Crawford versus Majramov then. Bro, I watch way too much boxing. I know what's going to happen. I told y'all about Morrell a couple of weeks ago. Now nobody want to talk about Morrell. I made a live before the Morrell fight saying that everybody was going to quit on Morrell. They wasn't going to name not one fight they want to see Morrell in. Can anybody tell me in the comment section, have y'all heard anybody say who they want to see Morrell fight next? Yeah, he did. Dry Turkey, he got dog walk. He did get dog walk. The last 4 or 5 rounds, he got dog walk. He got dog walk. I can play it right now. He got dog walk. That ain't what I wanted to talk about, but he got dog walk. I really rather talk about Andy Cruz or somebody. But he got dog walk. He got dog walk. But you gotta understand though, the same thing that Morrell had, Majramov had, it was the same kind of performance. Morrell put on a good performance, but as far as winning the rounds, not really. That's why I say when people bring up you gotta understand, bro, Majramov has a better amateur record than Morrell. That doesn't mean anything. But people that come on here, Andy Cruz and Keyshawn need to fight Andy Cruz. You think Terrence Crawford don't know what kind of talent he got over there when it comes to Keyshawn Davis? People didn't even believe in Keyshawn Davis last year. He was getting trolled last year about some weed. So Terrence Crawford knows what kind of talent he got. He knows what kind of talent Keyshawn Davis is. I trust Terrence Crawford before I trust y'all judgment. I mean, the fans, the ones who don't believe that Majramov is a good fighter. You gonna throw a peace sign up? You ain't even answer none of my questions, bro. I'm not doing that in 2025. Nobody can answer my question. I'm not gonna have no conversation with you. That's it. I gave you too much attention already. Yeah, I'm moving on to the future. We talking about guys who. You said Majramov ain't beating Virgil? Hey, the dude think Majramov can't beat Virgil Ortiz, bro. You said an opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. You ain't got no facts, though. That's what I'm saying. This is a fact channel. We don't do all that opinion stuff. I want to hear some facts. Because when y'all get a pick wrong, Y'all don't be trying to come back around. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot in there to dry turkey. I can't wait to see it. Keyshawn versus Cruz got to happen before Key move up, because I think Cruz a career 135 pounder. Me too. I think so too. That's a good point, Saab. I think he's a 135. He looked small his last fight, didn't he? I'm glad you brought that point up. He looked small his last fight. Did you notice that? He looked small. And this is like after he made weight and rehydrated. He looked small his last fight. He did look small. And from what I've seen, those Cuban guys, they know how to be disciplined when it comes to their weight. Ugas, Lara, a lot of those guys, you know, they good with their weight. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz and Majumov a good fight, bro. Yeah, but Virgil lost to that fight. The fact, bro, Sable, the fact that nobody want to admit that he lost that fight, bro, they finna look. That's the only reason I'm like, nah, I'm not picking him next fight. The fact that nobody want to admit it, but I respect Virgil Ortiz because he'll fight anybody though. It's not about Virgil Ortiz like I don't like him. That has nothing to do with him. I like him as a fighter. I think Virgil Ortiz got more dog than him. I think he's one of the most underrated Mexican fighters. He don't get a lot of credit for wanting to fight everybody. A lot of people giving Tito Machado. They saying Tito Machado, but I think Virgil Ortiz's name need to be said a lot more. But in the end, deep inside, people know he didn't win that last fight. So that's why you don't hear a lot of people hyping up this Majumov fight. They know what time it is. Majumov is gonna make Terrence Crawford's resume look better. See, when Triple G fought Canelo, Canelo's resume didn't look better after Triple G resume didn't look better after he fought Canelo. Except for like the Danny Jacobs fight, but Canelo fought him too. But his resume, he didn't make his resume good to the point where everybody was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? He don't have a wow kind of resume. From what I've seen, he don't have a wow type of resume. So I think Majumov, you got to think about it. Majumov was going to fight Boychuk. Then he went from Boychuk to Virgil Ortiz. He said, I'm going to just do the Virgil Ortiz fight. And the man just fought Terrence Crawford, what? 8 months ago? What, 6 months ago? So this man going to fight Virgil Ortiz and Terrence Crawford in 6 months? And y'all want me to pick somebody else? You want me to pick Virgil Ortiz? Not the guy who's running to fight Terrence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz, and he only got, what, 12 fights? So he only got 12 fights. What? And I'm supposed to pick who? The guy who everybody said that had a good fight with Terrence Crawford? If you feel like he beat Terrence Crawford, and this is the weird part right here. People think that he beat Terrence Crawford, but they don't think he'll beat Virgil Ortiz. You say I'm surprised, Boots? Nah, I wasn't surprised. I knew Boots wasn't going to 54. He was thinking about it, but I wasn't surprised. Boots can be at 54 for the next 5 years if he want to. It's not no rush. There wasn't no rush. It definitely wasn't a rush. You said you answered my question. No, you didn't, bro. I don't even remember what I asked you. You took so long to answer. Somebody else can tell you what I asked, but I forgot already. Oh, I said that. What did you think? I said, what was a better fight? I said, what was you impressed with more? Going 12 with Munguia or going 12 with Majumov? You haven't said anything yet. You haven't said what you impressed by. Are you impressed by Canelo going 12 with Majumov? I mean, with Munguia? Or are you impressed with Terrence Crawford going 12 with Majumov? What you more impressed by? What was the most impressive performance? Because I just seen Munguia just get slept. And then everybody like, well, Canelo got all this power. Well, he should have used all that power against Munguia. I don't know how a guy from France got more power than Canelo. Well, I do know how he got more power. But that's how you know I'm a nice guy. You think Boots gonna stop Stanionis? Could be close, but I don't know. I think Stanionis he got enough dog. If it does happen, it's probably gonna be like 11-12. It might be a knockdown. I think Boots gonna go for it. I think he's gonna be locked in. I think it's gonna be a light one. I didn't like Stanionis' last performance. Yeah, I know that. Asable facts. Matter of fact, Sabo, I just told him that I had to tell Dry Turkey this. He didn't know this. But Olaces beat Morrell. So it's a lot of guys that need to be getting some get back from the amateurs. If we talking about just Keyshawn Davis, there's a lot of guys that need some get back. Oh yeah, that was a good fight, dog. That Dan Hogan fight, that was a good one. Hey, Sable, another one too. And Munguia was struggling against Eric Bazian, the Canadian guy everybody said was a bum before he got stopped. The guy Eric Bazian, he was outboxing him. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Terrence Crawford is one is hold on, I'll take that back. I think he's about 178. He had sweats on, so he's about 175 right now. Yeah, appreciate that, Dry Turkey, for the $2 chat, man. I mean, super chat. But I think he's about 175. I think he's about one. It's not going to matter though. It's not. Yeah, he's working with Canelo right now, so should be a good training session for him. You said Canelo carried Munguia? I don't think that's true, brother. I don't think he carried Munguia. I don't think he carried Munguia. I honestly don't. Canelo has been slowing down, man. I don't know if people know it or not, but Canelo is about to be 35 years old this year. Canelo is gonna be officially what these young guys call an old man. At 35, they call people old man now. This generation call guys at 35 years old now, so Canelo's gonna officially be an old man this year at 35. So do you know what Oscar De La Hoya was doing at 35? He was retiring. You heard Derek James is done with Ryan shenanigans. Nah, Ryan just wanted to go over there with Canelo. I knew he wanted to go over there with Canelo when he in May. When he showed up, when he was at the Munguia versus Canelo fight. You remember when he was hugging him and saying hello to him and everything? I knew that was gonna happen. And then I knew that him and Teofimo was gonna end up possibly going over there. Teofimo needs some work. People don't understand it. Teofimo needs some work on his technique. And I knew he was gonna go over there. You said ain't nobody at 168, so you calling Diego Pacheco a nobody? Telling you, boy, these dudes be out here disrespecting these other Mexican fighters. That I be questioning this Mexican pride. They be slandering Mexican fighters worse than I do. And I don't really slander them. Yeah, you know what that means? That means ring with somebody. Because I haven't seen Madrimal get beat up like Munguia did. Munguia has looked bad in his last 2 fights. He looked better in the Canelo fight than he did in his last 2 fights. Even Oscar De La Hoya, a lot of people don't know this, but Oscar De La Hoya said the same thing I did, that he needed to stay with Freddie Roach. He wanted Munguia to go back with Freddie Roach. I'll put the article out in the morning probably, or night, whatever. Some old news. It's new, but it's like a week or 2 ago. He said he wanted Munguia to go back and train with Freddie Roach. See, people don't be breaking down stuff like that, but that's something I actually was talking about last year in 2024 after he knocked out John Ryder. That's why I told everybody. I got on this channel and I told everybody that Munguia needs to wait until he's 2 or 3 more fights. And people are like, why are you trying to push off fights? We want to see the big fights. Why are you trying to push the fights off? Isn't that what you want? Why guys don't want to see boxing? He about 175. He had all those sweats on. I don't know. I don't know if he had his. He about 175, I would say. He about 175. Yeah, Bud weighs that much. He about 175. He said the last fight when he was fighting Majramov that he had trouble making weight. They didn't report it, but he had trouble making weight at 54. Yeah, he had trouble with making weight at 154. A lot of people don't know that. That's why Terrence Crawford was the way he was against Majramov when he started off slow, because he had trouble. People don't realize that when Canelo first moved up, he had trouble getting through rounds and getting started. That's why Canelo fought the type of competition he did. Canelo moved up and fought Triple G, but you got to understand, Triple G was already a guy who was fighting the same type of competition as him. Triple G wasn't just fighting super heavy guys. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. He weighed 169.9? Okay. Yeah, he had trouble making weight that night. He had told everybody. That's when I kind of realized, that 154 thing sounds like a reach right now. I mean, he can do it, but I don't know. They want the old man to do all the work. They want him to clean out the division. Oh, you talking about as far as who? You at 168? You said 168 and down? You said who ain't messing with who at 168 and down? Oh, Eddie Reynoso. I don't know if Eddie Reynoso has Munguia. I don't know. Looks like Munguia could. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Eddie Reynoso has a lot of fighters he's still working with. I don't know. I don't know if he's working with Eddie Reynoso. I know Eddie Reynoso right there telling him what to do and everything, but I'm not gonna lie though. I feel bad for Jaime Munguia, man, because a lot of people say he got carried in that Canelo fight. I didn't feel like he did. Felt like that was disrespectful. It's on the topic of it. No, I didn't say it was a lie. I just, it was an opinion question. What I'm talking about is stuff I can actually prove. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, Punisher. I'm just talking about stuff I can actually prove. A lot of the stuff you're saying is like, I can't prove it. All I can do is make comparisons. That's the best I can do for you. And I just asked you as far as you saying Majramov. A lot of people said Majramov ain't that good and everything. I was just comparing Majramov and Munguia. People forget that Canelo couldn't knock out a guy who just got knocked out. And you know how nice we are nice we are to Canelo? We don't never bring it up. Nobody ever brings up the fact that Canelo couldn't knock out Munguia. I don't think the real boxing fans get enough credit for actually giving Canelo credit like we have been. That's the only thing I'm seeing. But yeah, as far as with when people saying with Andy Cruz though, he got a long way to go. As far as with Keyshawn Davis, he's in a tough position right now. See, I have more confidence right now in a guy like Majramov than I do Andy Cruz right now. The reason why is because the opponents that Majramov is picking This man is going from Crawford to Boachuk to Virgil Ortiz. That don't sound like any of these other guys in boxing right now. The dude only has 10 or 12 fights. And you could say he's facing tougher competition than most guys that's in top 20, top 10. You say Abdullah Mason got to step up now. No, he doesn't. He's younger than Floyd Schofield. His last fight was a step up. His fight now is a step up. He fought a knockout artist his last fight, and he's fighting the Manuel. What's his name? Manuel. What's his name? James. I think his name James. The guy that Rolly fought on the Canelo Berlanga card. I think he getting trained by. No, I don't want to know who. I don't want to say who he getting trained by. I would say Robert Garcia, but I'm not. I don't think so. It might be Robert Garcia he getting trained by. He said I really wanted to see Majamal versus Boachuk. That might be next. It might be next. If that's not next, you'll see Fundora or Boachuk probably run it back. You might see Boachuk and Fundora after Fundora has that fight in March. You might see Fundora and Boachuk. The fight that was supposed to happen with Canelo. People don't, and I'm gonna tell you something else too, Sable. The fight that I wanted to see the most was Fundora and Boachuk before Fundora replaced Keith Thurman against Tim Tszyu. But Boachuk was like the first fight on the prelim. He was fighting on the prelims or something like that. And I was like, whoa, they got him on the prelims? But I think Virgil, he's a dog though. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like he's a dog, but I think Virgil Ortiz made him look like he's a boogeyman though. So all right, bro. You say you thinking on subscribing? I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you. If I was you, I would definitely subscribe because it sounds like what the information you be getting lately is, I don't, for you to be questioning Majamal still, or Terrence Crawford might have to subscribe. Might have to. They get subscriptions for, subscriptions is medicine too. So might have to subscribe. Subscription for prescription, same thing. Might have to. You said as far as so you picking Virgil Ortiz to beat Majamal? Man, you ain't coming back. You said I think Fundora food. Yeah, I picked Fundora to get knocked out against Brian Mendoza. That's the only reason. I ain't saying he a bum. I'm saying I picked him to get knocked out against Brian Mendoza. I ain't saying he fooled, but he ain't what these dudes talking about. This dude got knocked out before. I don't think he's what everybody's talking about. He got knocked out before. At this point, they showing the guy who got knocked out more respect than the guy who knocked out Earl Spence. Yeah, a lot of people don't even remember that he got knocked out by you say your picks don't be missing? Bro, like I said, bro, you might have to check this channel real quick. Cause I just picked Pacheco recently. I just picked Morel. I picked Rayo. Who else I picked? When the whole world was talking about Rayo gonna get I knew that Morel was gonna go 12 rounds against Hot Rod when everybody said he was gonna get a knockout. I knew that Canelo was gonna go 12 rounds with Munguia. People thought he was gonna knock him out. I knew he was gonna go 12 rounds with Berlanga. They said he's gonna knock him out. You said Earl done? No, Earl ain't done. I seen Fundora get knocked out worse than Earl Spence. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I've seen Fundora get put down, bro. The way Fundora got knocked out, he's never gonna fight that way again. You said Ryo about to get stopped? I don't know. Ryo got just as much power. You see how big Ryo is right now? I definitely might have to disagree with that. A knockout? No. Ryo's boxing right now, so I'm not gonna say he's gonna go out there and get knocked out, but it's a good chance. But I need to see something from Russell to where he can go out there and mix it up a little bit. People don't know how much power De Los Santos got. I think that's the real issue as far as with Ryo. And people got to understand, before Ryo got knocked out by De Los Santos, he had De Los Santos knocked out. And De Los Santos, the only reason De Los Santos even had Ryo hurt as bad as he did is because he hit Ryo while he was on the ground. This dude punched Ryo while he was on the ground. Yeah, he gonna call him out. If how do I say this? If Gary Russell wins, they'll possibly try to make that fight with him at 40 with Tank. I'm gonna tell you why. It's more guys at 140 that Tank want to fight than 135. You said Earl took way more punch. Earl was standing up. He was just bleeding from his face. That's it. Earl was still walking forward against he was still walking forward. Bro, did you see Fundora get knocked out? You said your predictions be hitting. What you mean your predictions be hitting? What you mean your predictions be hitting? You just said that Munguia would have been impressive more than you said Munguia would have been more impressive than Majramov if he wouldn't have got knocked out. That wasn't impressive, man. He got outboxed his last 2 fights. Do you know that I was one of the only guys to actually go live for that last Munguia fight? People didn't even know Munguia was going to actually have a chance of even losing. I'm going to give you a hint, 556 Punisher. I want you to go around tonight after you get out this live, and I want you to look around and see how many guys went live for that last Jaime Munguia fight. I just want you to see how many guys went live when he fought Bruno. I just want you to see. And that's going to let you know how many of these people actually know boxing. It ain't got to be between me and you as far as what we talking about, but I just want you to go around and look around and see. Just click on a couple of channels and see if they actually went live for Jaime Munguia's last fight. I seen dudes go live for Jaime Munguia last fight, and they ain't even say nothing. They ain't give a post-fight review. They ain't say nothing about it the next day. They went live for the fight. And they usually always drop videos the next day. Didn't even do it. So I know what time it is. And I just seen people give Morrell more credit after he lost to a guy in the amateurs, because we talking about the amateurs when it comes to Keyshawn Davis. So Morrell got more credit for losing to a guy that Majramov beat in the amateurs. Think about that. But people will say, Andy Cruz. What about Andy Cruz? Andy Cruz. That's why I'm saying that the amateurs, they only count the amateurs for Andy Cruz and Lomachenko. Everybody else, they don't count them. Tank don't want to fight nobody. He sparred these guys. He sparred Keyshawn Davis. He sparred Devin Haney, he sparred Shakur Stevenson. Right now, it looks like some fake beef from his side because why would you sit up here and throw all these insults at certain guys? I mean, when he said something about Keyshawn Davis's mom, I knew it was a rap after that. Yeah, betting is going to be a lot harder now, bro. They're doing 50-50 fights now. They're not. This is not going to be like when Canelo was fighting John Ryder. They're doing 50-50 fights now. Like Virgil Ortiz fighting Madrimov, you're gonna lose some money betting on that. You betting on Virgil Ortiz? You betting on Virgil Ortiz? No, I think you need to keep that money. What you don't understand is they're doing more 50-50 fights now. So I would definitely. You said when he get knocked down. Nah, Sabo, he ain't get knocked down, bro. He couldn't get up. He got hit so hard, he was sitting on his ass and couldn't get up, which is embarrassing. Let me pull it up. Fundora, Mendoza. I don't know if people watch that fight. I don't know if people watch that fight. And I predicted that he'll get knocked out. And that's a prediction I had. I had predicted he'll get knocked out. Brian Mendoza is one of the hardest punchers in the world. At any weight class. Let me see. Okay. Pull this up. Here we go. Yeah, I predicted that fight, bro. I wouldn't even lie to you. I predicted that fight and a couple of others, man. But 50-50 fights is gonna be hard for people to predict. That's why people ain't been doing them. Well, just go ahead and look at this real quick. I predicted this fight. I said, ooh, that Mendoza guy got a right hand. And I seen how, if you realize the only reason Fundora fought the way he did the last fight is because he got put to sleep. Well, he can get put to sleep, but look at that, man. Why he can't get up? He sits up, gets up immediately. Why he ain't get up? That's why when people say, man, Deontay Wilder got knocked out, he got up his last fight. People don't even know it. Have y'all heard anybody say that Fundora need to go back and fight Mendoza? No. Because they don't care. Terrence Crawford? Absolutely. That's how you know Terrence Crawford has made Madrimov a star. Because that's how everybody knows that Madrimov is a threat, because they know everything about Madrimov now. For some reason, Terrence Crawford ain't one of the faces of boxing, but they can break down the Terrence Crawford fight better than the Canelo fight. They can break down Terrence Crawford fight better. They can break down Keyshawn Davis's resume, his amateur resume, better than anybody. I didn't even know Keyshawn Davis fought Andy Cruz 4 times until today. Everybody say he fought him 4 times. I'm like, wow. Okay. You said there is bigger fights. I don't know what bigger fights it is. Boxing ain't been putting together. People wouldn't even know who Madrimov is if it wasn't. See, this is what people got to realize. Nobody cares about when Andy Cruz fights unless it's about Keyshawn Davis. Andy Cruz hasn't been looking good in his fights, as good as and consistent. Andy Cruz has been in some wars lately, and we got to realize Keyshawn just flatlined Lemos, who everybody said was beating up 140 Richardson Hitches, which I didn't believe. After people seeing recently, a lot of guys don't know how to break down fights. Though they said Hitches looked bad against Lemos. Then he went out there and beat up Paro. They said Keyshawn Davis looked bad because he didn't get a couple of knockdowns in a couple of fights, and then he went out there and flatlined Lemos. So it just happens. Yeah, Madrimov a star now. you know, they break down the fight so well, Sabo. He has to be. And I'm glad that they actually think that he beat Terrence Crawford, because they're gonna have to explain why they picking Virgil Ortiz to win when you just said that Majamal beat Terrence Crawford. That's why I'm saying a lot of these people out here lying. And that's one you can use. You can steal that one, Sabo. He said, who you have? I picked Fandora, bro. I did a whole live. Tim Tszyu is one of my favorite fighters. And I did a whole live the day before where I picked Fandora. You gotta understand, these is picks I changed. Got around and picked Rayo. I waited the whole summer. I thought about it. I said, I want to pick Rayo. And I told everybody that day, I said, I'm going to pick Rayo in this fight against Pitbull. And that Friday, when they had replaced Fandora with Tim Tszyu, I said, I'm going with Fandora because I don't think he going to box with Tim Tszyu. I think he going to just jab and stay on the outside. And that's what he did. And he never jabbed before. You got to think about it. And you can go back and look at my live video I had did, and he jabbed, and just like I said he was going to do. And Fandora had never fought like that up until that point. So this just ain't no regular prediction stuff. This is stuff that never happened before. You said Majamal won't be the same. No, he'll be the same. Majamal had been in a lot of fights. Majamal used to be at 168. A lot of these guys, 165. A lot of these guys, that's ranked top 5 at 168 right now. Majamal done already fought. So he's felt that power and everything. Terrence Crawford wouldn't hit him like. I think Jose Benavidez is the same. He's the same fighter. Charlo couldn't knock him out. And he went up to 160. He went from 47 to 160. And Charlo was weighed in like 165. So he fought a guy that was like almost 20 pounds away from 147. Charlo was basically at 168 when Jose Benavidez fought him. He still couldn't stop him. And Jose Benavidez hasn't been that active. He's been just as inactive as Charlo has. So I think Majamal gonna be able to do it. Virgil, the way Virgil was getting touched up that last fight, nah, I'm not. I can't do it. Yeah, Troy Osley a good fighter though, but I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mess with Tim, but yeah, I chose Fandora. Everybody thought I was crazy when I picked Fandora too. Then the next day after Fandora beat Tim Tszyu, guess what everybody said? He only lost because of the blood. And that's when Tim Tszyu came out and lost again. I blame the fans for that last loss. Because Tim Tszyu came out and said, I don't even feel like I lost the other fight against Fandora. Yeah, that's because all the fans told you didn't lose. And that's what Cambosa said as well. He was like, man, they out here telling these guys after losses that they won and everything else, and it's not helping them. He said, how about, I don't know. Oh, you said in the rematch? Who you had first? I had Haney, but when Ryan was walking into the ring, I said that if Haney if he comes forward and rushes Ryan, that he could get KO or put down and lose. The fight kind of went how I said. I don't know, bro. I got some weird thing to where when dudes is doing ring walks, I'll make some little weird prediction and the fight end up going like that. I did it against Daniel Dubois. I was going with Anthony Joshua. And when they was doing a ring walk, I ended up changing to Daniel Dubois. And that was just based off of a face-off or something like that. He had. I was watching the face-off when they were doing a ring walk. And I was like, man, hold on. This guy looks... Nah, Tim Tszyu, he was just rushing too much. He felt like he was going to bleed. You know, it's a lot of excuses in that fight as far as why he was fighting like that. It was a lot of excuses. I think it was bad timing for him. He thought he was bleeding from his head again. After that, I thought he was gonna lose. When he rubbed his glove with his head, I thought he was gonna lose. But he has to understand. Tim Tszyu has to understand. Tim Tszyu need to put some damn hair on his head too. If he's gonna be running his head into people's elbows, cause he hit a Bakaram with his elbow. He ran into Bakaram's elbow. So I was like, bro, you're gonna lose doing that, bro. You said psychologically? Yeah, I think Majamal is a lot more experienced though. He's a lot more experienced. I don't think he's too happy about trying to fight Terrence Crawford again. I will say that. If I could take anything from it, I don't think he's too happy about fighting Terrence Crawford again. But Terrence Crawford really let him off the hook because he started late. Terrence Crawford was rusty as crap when he fought Majamal. He was so rusty, he didn't get started till like around the 6th round, 7th round. He was super rusty. He said that they was crying after he got stopped. Now you got people talking about, so Bakaram's a killer. He's a killer. They need to fight him at 154. Everybody's running. Man, Bakaram was a mandatory for Charlo. Let me show you how crazy things was. I don't know if you... They was talking about Bakaram. Let me see. Where is it at? I can't see it. Yeah, but Bakaram was a mandatory for Charlo, man, years ago. But when when you're not a big name, people not gonna give you the attention you deserve. So because Bakaram wasn't a big name, he didn't really get the attention he deserved. But where is it at? I'm trying to show y'all something real quick. Here it goes. Yeah, when everybody thought Tim Tszyu was gonna fight. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Bakaram and Charlo already signed to fight each other years ago. So when I made this video, this was 2000 and... What the date was? I'm gonna put a date on here so everybody knows. Oh, they got the thing up here. Okay. Here it goes. I didn't see many people that had this. Let me show y'all how much I do research on here. Show y'all my skills real quick. Let me show y'all my skills. Okay, the date on here. I'm gonna show you the date first. Everybody sees the date? The date says October 25th, 2023. Okay? What's up, PD? What's up, dog? Shout out to my dog PD, man. I know he up right now changing the pamper. Shout out to the little one too. Man, Tank tripping. Hey, you know what's crazy, PD? Before I I'm gonna tell you in a minute. Hold on. Let me tell these guys this real quick. I'm trying to show them something. You right though. I had did the video, so Tank had said something about Keyshawn's mama around the week of the fight when he was fighting Lemos. He said something about Keyshawn's mom, bro. Keyshawn wasn't even saying nothing. He like, what? So Tank had said something about his mom. A lot of people ain't say nothing about it. And then when Bakaram and Charlo signed the fight in January 24th of 2022. This is a copy of a document Charlo signed that I have obtained it, promising the next fight to be IBF mandatory challenger Bakaram Mataliev. This is what Charlo says on the list. After my bout with Brian Castano, if I still hold the IBF 154 title, I will have 10 business days to decide whether I will choose to vacate the IBF 54 title or next engage in my mandatory against Bakaram Martaliev. If notice of my decision is not provided within said 10 business days, I shall defend my IBF title against Martaliev in my next bout. I shall not make no further applications after the Castano bout to the IBF to extend my mandatory bout or to fight anyone other than Martaliev. So Charlo signed this paper 3 years ago, bro. This paper is 3 years old. This man signed to fight Bakaram 3 years ago. So when I first got on YouTube, one of my first videos was about Bakaram and Tim Tszyu. It wasn't about Charlo. It wasn't about Tank Davis ducking Tank Davis ducking nobody. This was one of my first videos on this channel. And a lot of people don't have this paper right here. A lot of people started to catch on and figure out that Charlo signed this paper or whatever. But what they didn't know is that Bakaram and Tim Tszyu was supposed to fight instead of Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison was a replacement for Bakaram. So Tim Tszyu and Bakaram were going to fight January 2023. Yeah, 2023. And they end up bringing in Tony Harrison. And Bakaram was like, nah, I'm fighting Charlo. I already signed my paper. I'm not letting it go. Yeah, but Bakaram was a nobody around this time. You know what I'm saying? According to most people, they was like, why are you talking about him? This dude's a bum. You know what I'm saying? They like, why are you talking about him? Nah, Tony Harrison was a replacement for Bakaram. That's when I said then, I was like, why is Bakaram not taking Tim Tszyu? So that's when I started making videos and I was like, why is Bakaram not fighting Tim Tszyu? And that's the first time I think people start hearing anybody on YouTube talk about Bakaram versus Tim Tszyu. And I made that like October, I think. And then they fought in October the next year, which is crazy. But you know. Yeah. That was one of the first videos I had did on here. This is my first time showing this, so PD, you know, it's probably the first time. But if y'all go to my old videos, it's a lot of good information on there. This video came out October 2023. Jamel Charlo agreed to sign to next fight in 154 is not Tim Tszyu. Vacate or fight. So you gotta understand, this is one of my first videos I did where I like helped break a story. So yeah, but yeah, he said in this life or the next. That's funny. You said Devin. Devin has no chin. How is he gonna keep Ryan off of him? Devin had a chin when he fought Tank Davis. Tank Davis couldn't knock out. What people need to be asking is, yeah. Oh, you talking about the old videos? Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. Pull them up. It be so much information. I'm supposed to be talking about 50 different things right now. It's so much information coming out right now. Yeah, I definitely do, but you know, these folks know what time it is, man. They know I know what I'm talking about. They just don't be wanting to admit it, PD. They know what time it is. But yeah, I definitely got to run this one back. A lot of people watch this one though. It's a members only video, so I'm kind of giving an exclusive right now. I'm not even supposed to be showing this, but yeah, he signed this paper, bro. So when people say, "Oh, who you think Charlo gonna fight next?" I know who Charlo gonna fight next. He already signed the paper. He already signed the paper. That's just like Jake Paul signing the paper with Canelo. The fight ain't gonna happen now, but the paper been signed already. So they gonna run these back. Yeah, he gonna run these back. Definitely gonna run these back. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's coming out. Like I heard people talking about the Alexander Povetkin news that came out. A lot of people just now hearing about that. But I had put that video out old too. Yeah, exactly. That's why I would put so much pressure on them. People like, Terrence Crawford need to fight Charlo. How is Terrence Crawford gonna fight Charlo when he got a paper signed to fight Baccarat? And people like, why Charlo ain't fight yet? He got a paper to fight Baccarat. Well, it's already been voided now because he ain't fight Baccarat next, so it's most likely a wrap. But you gotta understand though, they still came back after the Canelo fight and gave him a chance to fight Baccarat. And he was like, nah, I ain't doing it. So it's a lot of weird. And that was before he had got into it with his wife and stuff, PD. He was like, nah, I ain't doing it. I was like, bro, I'm giving up on you, bro. He said, go ahead and show the exclusive. I just did. You ain't never seen that paper before. I just showed you exclusive. I just showed it. People still say I don't know boxing, so I ain't finna be on here proving that. He said, who you got between Dubois and Parker? I don't know. I think Parker can get him, but right now I'm leaning toward Dubois, but I don't know. Parker's a little more, he's a little more, he can move. He can mix it up a little bit, so I don't know. I'm leaning toward Dubois, but Parker, the way he's able to move, I think if Hrgovic was able to move like how Parker can, he would have had more of a chance. So the way a guy moves like Parker, that's going to be a huge issue for Dubois. I know it's not going to mean much to some people, but I think it'd be the most obstacle that Daniel Dubois going to have to face. The undercard for Bitterbill Bivol, they got this Floyd Schofield versus Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur Stevenson gonna seal that deal. Might get a stoppage. Who else? Vertil Ortiz, Madrimov. I got Madrimov in that one. I forgot. I know I got Bitterbill and Bivol. Well, not the undercard, but that's not on the undercard. But I forget the other names already. Hamza Shiraz and Adames. I'm going with Hamza on this one, but his inside fighting, I'm not confident on. I'm not confident with Hamza, but I'm gonna talk about the undercard probably tomorrow. I'm gonna start talking about Bitterbill and Bivol like tomorrow. Oh yeah, PD just got on here. PD, you seen that? You ain't seen this yet, who you? Hey, look who training with Canelo. Hey PD, look who training with Canelo. This was like today or yesterday. Yeah, I got Dubois. You got Dubois by KO Punisher? Damn, y'all got Shakur. Man, that's another person saying Shakur getting a stoppage. Man, y'all got me wanting to go with a stoppage. Punisher, what you got? KO or you going the distance? The only reason I don't like it though is because that last fight kind of put McGee in a position where he ain't a competitor no more. And I know naturally he like more of a competitor. But yeah, I like Munguia though. Don't get it twisted now. Everybody thought I was just roasting him or nothing. I'm still a fan of Munguia. He want the smoke. He want the smoke. He want the smoke now. Yeah, that's what I was saying, PD. Exactly. He ain't never getting that rematch. It's over. It is over. He knew it too. He knew it too. It was over. I knew it was over. They were talking about recently that he was thinking about fighting the Bruno guy, Canelo. I didn't think he was, but you know, they still put that out there to try to make him seem good. But yeah, I didn't like when they said Munguia got carried in that fight. I was like, I can't roll with that. Are you rolling with KO? Man. I don't know. Parker got a chin, bro. Like he got hurt in that Joe Joyce fight, but he got a chin though. Joe Joyce got some power. Joe Joyce is a big dude, man. He a slow guy, but he got power. So I don't know. I just don't like that I haven't seen much. I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard to really break down. Parker, his style that's gonna be one of the toughest fights to pick. I don't know, man. Shakur is weird, bro. I done seen him go in that fight with but you gotta realize too, Shakur, he just fought two of the most experienced amateur fighters we have. He went the distance with a bronze medalist. I don't know how that's embarrassing. The man's so good that people think that he's him going with Bacoli fighting FA, but not on this card. I don't know how, but people think that it was embarrassing for him to go 12 rounds with a bronze medalist. So, but Shakur, he stops guys. He stops guys. And Floyd Schofield, he got to show me more. He's the one. He's in improvement mode right now. Because the way he was smothering his punches, he going to get dog walked like that. I do think he has a chin, but once Shakur goes to Saudi Arabia, it's going to be a different vibe out there. You know, a lot of these Riyadh cards, dudes ain't playing when they get out here and fight. And I've been watching Shakur Stevenson a while now. And he's a lot stronger than he used to be. Put on a lot more size. That's why if I was Tank, I would have took that fight a while ago. Yeah, can you believe that this card is next week? This card is next week. We 12 days away. 12 days. Oh yeah, I see what PD talking about now. I'm up late. Oh yeah, PD, I see what you're saying now. I'm tripping. You talking about take the video and just play it on live? Yeah, you that's facts. I might do that. That's a long ass video too. That video an hour. I might do it. I see what you're saying now. That video an hour. I might do that. You talking about run the old ones back? I'm tripping, bro. That's a good ass idea. I ain't thought about that. Yeah, appreciate that. I definitely might try to do that. You're right. Cause I've been looking at my older videos. I'm like, man, that's the best ones I got. Yeah, you're right about that, PD. I wouldn't even understand what you're saying. Shoot, I could just take the whole video and play it back. But you was talking about like play it and be live and let it play. Yeah, you're right. I might do that. That's a good idea. I'm gonna take some tomorrow. I got a video on my page where I was talking about Terrence Crawford gonna be 4-time undisputed. And that was in 2000. That was after he beat Spence. I said, man, Terrence Crawford could be 4-time undisputed. Where the video at? Shiraz and Munguia in the rematch. He said Floyd is a mini Sean Porter. You think he is? I like what he does. He's a little different from Sean Porter. I forgot who I had compared him to, Floyd Schofield. It wasn't a. I see the same thing as far as the Sean Porter thing. It was somebody else I had compared him to. I forgot who it was. It was a good comparison too. Man, I forgot who it was. It was such a good comparison. I gotta think about it. It might take a while to think about. It wasn't no Zepeda or nobody. I'm trying to figure out who it was. I don't know if it was a white guy. What? I think it was. A Mexican? I don't know. I don't think it was an American fighter though. Yeah, Charlo, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Charlo's value would have actually went up fighting Crawford. Charlo could have did the same thing Madrimov did. He could have did the same thing Madrimov did. To be honest with you, if Charlo would have fought Tim Tszyu, Bakaram, and then Crawford, he'll be #1 pound for pound right now. Let's just say he goes the distance against Crawford. Top 5. Top 5 guys don't know. If he beats Tim Tszyu and Bakaram, what? He said no. He was doing good though. Now I would give him credit for that. You gotta realize too, the undisputed that Charlo did wasn't impressive to me. You know what I'm saying, PD? Like what they saying right now as far as him being able to when they was talking about Charlo, yeah, I think I got Munguia. Shoot, he working with Canelo now, so I think I got him. Munguia had Shiraz up out of there though. What's up, Al pal? He had him up out of there. You gotta remember, he knocked him up under the ropes and everything. Munguia had him up out of there, but you see how Munguia fighting Canelo right now? This man was in a phone booth with Shiraz. He was in a phone booth. He was in a phone booth. I think the problem with Munguia is he's very undisciplined when it comes to fights. That shot he got caught with was very undisciplined. Very undisciplined. It really was. It wasn't even the same as how Wilder got caught, because when Wilder got hit with that one shot, he like spent around. But Munguia, he was like, tried to make a swing, and he was like lackadaisical, and he kind of like just, you know, fell to the side, and Shiraz like, man, this dude's chin is in the air. Boom. You know, his chin was just all out there. He said, you lose when you go to Team Canelo. Yeah, it's not gonna be an easy sight for him. It's not. I don't think he's on Team Canelo confirmed, but I do have word right now that he is kind of looking to work with other people. I know Oscar De La Hoya wants him to work with Freddie Roach again, because you know he was working with Freddie Roach. Munguia was working with Freddie Roach in the John Ryder fight, so we'll see. Nah, grass ain't always greener, bro. It ain't. Dude, what I felt like he should have did was stay with Freddie Roach. I thought he should have stayed with Freddie Roach. He got too much confidence from the John Ryder fight. Once he knocked out John Ryder, he was like, man, Canelo couldn't even knock out John Ryder. But he don't understand that Canelo hurt his wrist or something in that fight after he knocked down John Ryder. And basically, by the time Munguia got him, he was finished. He said, well, just the distance. Canelo's good at the distance. Being able to place your hands, your gloves in certain areas of your chin, keeping your chin tucked. I think things like that. Well, yeah, Al, I understand. I agree with you. But keeping his chin tucked like he's doing right now, being able to keep that jawline below those gloves, keeping his distance. Munguia needs to work on keeping his chin tucked, his distance, and just being disciplined with his hands and knowing where his hands is going to be. You see how he's catching a couple of shots of the glove, just doing things like that. Small things he needs to work on. Very small things. Things that Canelo's good at that Munguia needs to work on. Definitely does. Like the things that Munguia is bad at, I think Berlanga's good at. You know, Berlanga did get caught with some shots against Canelo, but he didn't put himself in a bad position. We got to understand, Munguia was really winning rounds against Canelo before he got dropped, but he was being undisciplined with those hands. He was being undisciplined with them hands. But yeah, Charlo them. I think Charlo finna be what, 35? I think he's about to turn 35 in like May or something like that. Both Charlos. So yeah, man, I don't know, man. It might be a wrap soon. Oh yeah, I already know, bro. I already know. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, people gotta understand. Ryan Garcia, he just left Team Canelo. He's going back over there, and then you have Valdez over there. He looks trash his last fight. Valdez looked horrible. He looked horrible. I knew Valdez was gonna get whooped though. For some reason, Valdez, he's scared. I ain't gonna say scared, but the way Navarrete's style just makes him so afraid the way he fights. Didn't even let his hands go last fight. He said without Oscar, nah. Oscar built that resume up. Oscar built that resume up. And the tough thing I said recently, Canelo's gonna have a hard time, man, to be honest with you. From what I seen today, he's gonna have a hard time because the reason why Canelo's gonna have a hard time, he about to be 35 years old. Do y'all know what Oscar De La Hoya was doing when he was 35? I know they're two different people, but I'm just measuring right now. Because once you get to 35, I know what time it is. But you know, do you know what Oscar De La Hoya was doing at 35? He was retiring from boxing. Oscar was retiring. Oscar fought Manny Pacquiao at 35 and he got up out of there. Oh yeah, he definitely is. Canelo as well. But that's the reason why Canelo he been looking normal. He been looking regular. And I ain't gonna lie, the stuff, man, there's so much. Yeah, Oscar was on that, but you gotta think about it though. Oscar still went out there and fought Pacquiao, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I know, bro. I can't even lie, bro. As mad as I've been at Oscar lately, man, y'all know I ride with Oscar, man. Golden boy. Yeah, fighting Pacquiao, bro. When I seen that today, I was like, man, Oscar fought Canelo. He fought Pacquiao at 35. I was like, dang. And I think Pacquiao 46 right now, so Pacquiao was 17. Damn, Pacquiao was 29. He fought Pacquiao when he was in his prime. Yeah, that's why I said, man, Canelo got some work to do, bro. He got some work to do. Oscar got a resume, man. He really does. That dude last fight was a Manny Pacquiao in his prime. I know he got stopped or whatever, but come on now. To be honest with you, I still don't know why Oscar got in the ring with him. People might say a paycheck, but nah, dude was a psycho. And you gotta think about it. If it wouldn't have been for Oscar, that Pacquiao Mayweather fight wouldn't have been that big. So I low-key can make he said he unk status. I thought he was a bit younger. No, he definitely unk status now. Yeah. Hey, hey, Punisher, you stupid, bro. You talking about that he said unk status. Hey, you talking about that list they made recently with them names where they had unk? What was the age for unk from 35? 30, what was it, 34 to 49? Bro said unk status. That's funny. Navarrete said he want to fight Isaac Cruz next. Not next. He said he want to feel this punch. He basically want to see how well he can punch. He want to see if he got the dog in him like you think. Navarrete in a weird spot too, man. He talking about he only got like a couple of fights left in his career. He gonna retire in like 4 or 5 fights or something. 4 fights or something. Where is this coming from? Navarrete talking about he got 4 fights left. He gonna be out of the game. I'm like, what is this about? Yeah, he probably like, man, cause you already know he felt like he beat Floyd. So he like, man, let me go ahead and get this Pacquiao guy so I can make that work. He probably was thinking about Marquez and Barrera. Bro, that wasn't the same Pacquiao by the time you fought him. I ain't gonna lie though, the worst I've ever seen somebody get whooped, man, is when Shane Mosley was fighting Pacquiao. I was like, oh my God. That stuff still give me nightmares. And I wasn't no kid when I saw that. Yeah, Navarrete said he only got like 4 fights left or something. I'm like, what? What are you doing? That's like a year or a half or something. Yeah, I like Navarrete. He a dog. Fight anybody too. Yeah, I like Navarrete, man. He get it out the mud. Yeah, he got a lot off of Oscar Clout, man. Yeah, I told people. And what's crazy is, I'm not gonna lie, Al, you know what's crazy? And there's no disrespect to this fighter, but you know what's crazy? I feel like right now people, and this is not cause I like Caleb Plant. I feel like right now, cause I think Caleb Plant a dog, especially after he fought Canelo, when he turned around and fought Benavidez, he didn't have to do that. So fighters like Andre and Caleb Plant got a lot of respect for them because Benavidez wouldn't be getting all the credit he's getting right now if those guys wouldn't even fought him, especially Caleb Plant. So I think Caleb Plant is one of the most important fighters right now because history would not be the same without him, even with, because Morrell would not be getting credit if it wasn't for Caleb Plant fighting the Benavidez. You get to see where these guys are as far as the skill set. You said your favorite Mexican fighter? That's a hard one. I don't know. I like most Mexican fighters. I don't know. That's my favorite style, so I like most of them. Navarrete is a good pick. David, that's a good one too. Navarrete is a good pick. I ain't gonna lie. I think mine's about the same, around the same. I can't think of a Mexican fighter right now from Mexico. I can't say Espinosa, but I haven't known him that long. So Navarrete will probably be the same pick for me. I gotta think about it though. Hold on. A couple of other guys. Oh yeah, you said nobody messed with Canelo 168 or under. I would have to disagree with that. I think the guy that I think Olaces and Glaciers that he can give Canelo some trouble. Those guys at 168, they're like 6'3", 6'4". A lot of those guys are taller than some of these guys in the NBA. Those guys at 168 are like dinosaurs, man. Never seen anything like that before. You said Bam over David Benavidez. I wouldn't do it right now. But I'm definitely all in on Bam right now. I wouldn't do it over David Benavidez right now. But I'm gonna be honest with you. This real talk. Anyway, better make some moves the next 2 years. If he don't, Bam Rodriguez, I'm gonna put him in that spot. If Bam Rodriguez fight 1 or 2 names that anyway supposed to be fighting, I'm gonna put him in that spot. I'm letting that be known ASAP. Cause the media, they act so scared, like they don't want to ask Bam who he want to fight. He said, "Oh yeah, I'll fight Nakatani." Like, man, that's all you gotta ask him. And I think Bam has more competition around him right now at that 115 spot than when Inoue was there. So, you know, Bam is in a perfect position right now. That's why I love the way boxing is right now, because a lot of fighters that's under 26, 27, those guys can easily replace these guys who's number one right now or champions, the top of the division. They can easily do it. Bam can easily say, "Hey, I'll be the king of the lower weight classes." Yeah, Navarrete a dog, man. He a dog, man. I like what he does. His resume is, it speaks for itself. Resume speaks for itself. That's why I said Navarrete said he was supposed to fight Lomachenko last year if he would have beat Baranchik. But I knew that Baranchik wasn't gonna fight Lomachenko though. That wasn't gonna happen. But I guess that's why he wanted to he looking at basically stepping away from boxing soon, because just didn't go the way he thought at 135, and he can't make the weight at 126 to 130 like he used to. He made 130, but I think he wants to be more comfortable at 135, because Navarrete is huge, dog. That man is huge. I forgot who I seen him standing next to. It was on one card he had with Castasiel fight. I was like, this dude is huge. He used to fight at 26. I'm like, he's huge. He said, it's a great time to be a boxing fan, to be honest. Start to shift in boxing. I actually, hold on. Was the Caleb Plant fight? I thought the Caleb Plant fight was after, Caleb Plant and Benavidez was after Ryan Garcia? Or it was before? It was before the Ryan Garcia and Tank fight? That's a good one. I didn't know that. That's a good one. If we go all the way back, I think it started with Wilder and Fury. Then it jumped to Spence was doing his thing already. But then it jumped to the I agree with you though. When it started around Benavidez, Plant, and Ryan Garcia and Tank, that's when I think it started to shift a little bit. I think Teofimo played a huge part, because I'm not a hater. Even though he be pissing me off. Teofimo, I think he was a big part of it too. When him and Lomachenko fought, and then he turned around and fought Kambosos. Because Kambosos made a good point recently. He said that's one of the biggest fights on the zone till this day. And I thought about it. I was like, man, that was a good fight, man. I keep saying, I'm like, it's one of the best fights I've seen in a while. And then that New York crowd was rocking, man. That New York crowd was rocking. That's why I was flabbergasted when people said New York was a bad spot for Ryan versus Devin. I'm like, what? They're like, why would you have an East Coast fight with a West Coast fighter like Ryan Garcia? I'm like, bro, what do they think this is, a rap concert? They had like this Kendrick Lamar coming to perform or something. They talking about, why would you have a West Coast boxer? I'm like, bro, what is this? Yeah, Benavidez is. Yeah, Benavidez is. Most of these guys is gonna turn it up. I think people seeing the reaction, and this is how the fans are starting to realize that it's serious now. I think Benavidez and Morrell fighting just pushed it higher, because now you're starting to get into the younger guys. Ryan Garcia and Devin did it last year because they're younger than Tank is. But when Benavidez and Morrell fought each other, now it's a whole nother era. The younger generation, they're starting to take tougher fights now. And I appreciate all y'all for being up with me, man. I didn't know y'all be up this late. Might have to do this a little more. He said he come in with a cowboy hat straight up when he comes in with Dolce & Gabbana. Yeah, I ain't never understood the Dolce & Gabbana thing. Yeah, he got some big hands, man. That's why I was saying this dude is huge. That dude is huge, man. Navarrete is a big guy. When I see him at the weigh-ins, I think it was before the weigh-ins. You got to realize he's going to weigh in. So before he weighed in, he was already looking big at 130. I'm like, this dude is huge. One of the biggest 130s I've ever seen in my life. Because you got to think about it. Lomachenko's fighting at 135, and he used to be at 130. So for Navarrete to be that big at 130, it's like, man, this dude he makes Oscar Valdez look small. Yeah, they got some good fights. I think this year the best fights that actually are going to be like missed out are some of the fights that won't come on TV. They have a lot of big fights that won't come on TV a lot. It'll be hard to find. I know Joe Smith Jr. coming back. I think Saddam Ali just came back and fought, or he got a fight coming up, or he just fought. But I think a lot of these fights that can't catch on TV is going to be good. Yeah, Munguia the same way. Munguia the same way, man. That's why I was actually glad Munguia had took that fight with Bruno, man. Stuff like that makes, you got to realize, Munguia giving that Bruno guy a chance, that's what makes boxing. You know, that was like a Rocky Balboa type of moment. I know that's a movie, but, bro, it was like a movie when Navarrete got knocked out. Yeah, he called him out. He said he want to fight him. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Pitbull, I know he said he still want to fight Ryan. Well, he said that before he fought his last fight, but like I said, Pitbull fighting at anything above 140 is dangerous because he haven't even got comfortable at 140 yet, honestly. I think him fighting at 140 is dangerous. And he's putting a lot of miles on him with the fights he's fighting right now. Pitbull ain't taking no easy fight, so he has to make sure that even the last guy he fought, he wasn't somebody that people like, but I mean that they knew, but a Mexican fighter with 1 or 2 fights, bro, they're dangerous, man. If y'all go back and look at all the upsets we've had the last couple of years, these Mexican guys with like 1 or 2 fights are super dangerous. Even the guy Mariano, who fought Keyshawn Davis on the Shakur Stevenson undercard, that guy was dangerous. He couldn't get knocked out. And I think that was a guy that Steve Claggett had beat. But man, these Mexican fighters was like 1 or 2 losses. Once they get that loss, it's like, man, I can't lose again. And that's when they're dangerous. Like the guy that Carlos Castro, that Stephen Fulton fought recently. Guys are dangerous, man. You think he did? Think he got a little Hollywood a little bit? No. I agree with you on that, Punisher. No, I agree on that. On the Ryan, no, I agree on that one. No, I agree on that one. I actually had said the Ryan and Tank one changed it. I think the Ryan and Tank fight really changed it. It really did. Cause that's when a lot of fighters that was sitting back and saying, "Oh wow, you could just make a fight that quick," and kind of build it up. Yeah. And the good thing about that is, and Tank has to realize too, with that Ryan Garcia fight, that was a fight the fans asked for. You know, that wasn't that's why the fight was so big. You know, a lot of people say the fight was big because Ryan has this many followers. Nah, it was big because that was a fight the fans wanted. That was the main reason. That was a fight they really wanted to see. And it was made very quickly. They signed in January, then fought. They was talking about November, then December started getting serious, signed in January, then February, March. I think the fight was in March. Yeah, I think Benavidez fought in February, then Tank fought in March, and then Lomachenko and Haney was April. So yeah, I think it started around that time. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. That Ryan and Tank one, that's what really did it. It was a huge shift after that. Yeah, but Pitbull, he did a good job, man. I really the reason why I'm not too hard on Pitbull is because he could have easily just rode the little hype train as far as like with Tank Davis. Like, oh man, I went the distance with Tank Davis, so I ain't got to do nothing. You know, a lot of these guys will do it. Pitbull is young. Like what, 25 last year? I think he's 26 now. So he could have, when he fought Tank, he was like what, 23, 22? So he could have been riding the hype train. Like, man, I went 12 rounds with Tank. I ain't got to do nothing. But for him to get fight Ryo and the Rolly fight, he didn't really have that was still a challenge for him because he did go to 140. Even though Rolly is a guy who's a 35 as well. So the first true 140 Pitbull fought was the last guy. The one he just fought on the Benavidez card. But yeah, he's still needed in boxing though, a lot. He's still needed, just like Mario Barrios. I never thought Barrios would fight Tank, but I always knew Barrios was a guy who's a big deal in boxing. You know, you're always gonna need boxers from other countries, but when it comes to Mexican fighters, you know, they set the vibe, you know, as far as the undercards, prelims. It's always like that. Different fighting style. You know, a lot of people don't want to see technical things on an undercard, so that fighting style always is what's needed. Yeah. Hey, you sound like me, Punisher. Okay. See you doing your thing, dog. Yeah. We got the same picks right now. Yeah, we got the same picks. Except I'm rolling with Madrimal. Like I said, bro, I'm not really, to be honest with you, I'm not really tripping about 154. That whole division, I know all those guys gonna fight. But I was just so surprised that it was so many people that didn't get a chance to fight Charlo. That's why I was like, man, he didn't really clean out 154 like I expected. I expected him to clean out 154. But to be honest with you, back to the Tank and Davis and Keyshawn thing, this kind of ties into it. I think that at 47, you know, Keyshawn Davis's brother right there, he's huge for 147. So he's going to be a threat. He's going to be one of the most dangerous guys. Because he's like a 147 Fundora almost. But he's a lot more disciplined. But I think that 140 spot is going to be dangerous for a lot of people because I'm just going to guess and say I think Shakur Stevenson will move up. I'm just taking a guess. I think he will move up sooner or later within the next 12 months. And I think possibly Tank Davis will leave 135 before Keyshawn does. Most of the guys that Tank Davis wants to fight is 140 and up at this point. I know a lot of people say Lomachenko. He said, I want to see that Indian kid that fought the other day again. What's his name? What Indian kid you talking about? I'm trying to think. I was watching a UFC card, so that's the only Indian guy I'm thinking about is that a guy that was on UFC. I wonder what Indian guy you talking about? What card was he on, PD? Yeah, but I think that 140, this is the move right here though. I think that Keyshawn gonna try to stay at 135 as long as he can. But there's so many fights at 35. I mean, at 140 that's interest. Like Ryo, still got Pitbull up there. Now you got Gary Antoine Russell. What if he gets a belt? Would anybody like to see him fight Shakur Stevenson if he wins? It could get interesting very fast. 140 is gonna get crowded very fast. And I don't think Keyshawn is gonna rush to 140 because he has a brother at 140 already. Not that this is gonna make any difference, but I don't think he's gonna rush to that division yet. I think he'll try to maximize his time at 135. You know, once you get that belt, you're not gonna try to just run up. It wouldn't make sense for him to get a belt this young in his career and be like, you know what, I'm going up to. Oh yeah, he's a beast. Man, he's a problem. Oh, you talking about him? Oh my God. Bro, you know what else too, PD, I seen? The guy, the gold medalist, the guy, Verde, Marco Verde, who just signed, the gold medalist from Mexico, who just signed with Adrian Reynoso's team. I'm supposed to find out if this guy is going on, Oh, no, I know that, bro. That's why I was asking you all them questions, Punisher. We are. Oh, yeah. Shoot, you made the show good, man. Yeah, that's why I was asking you all those questions. Yeah, you made the show good. Yeah, that's why I knew you knew your stuff. Yeah, I respect that. You definitely know. Yeah, you keeping me on point. Yeah, I know you talking about Nishant Dev. Man. He's like you know how we used to want Amir Khan to box? Like Amir Khan, he wasn't throwing like uppercuts. He was more like straightforward, down the middle, but that dude Dev, he mixed it up. I like him. I think he's a real good boxer. Yeah, he's one of the most talented fighters I've seen, especially an Indian fighter. He's the real deal. He was kicking. He's supposed to have a gold medal right now. He lost in the Olympics, but if you go back and look at the fight he lost, he won that fight. He won that fight. If I was Turkey, I would definitely try to get him over to the Middle East. Yeah, that guy got a lot of talent. PD, that lets you know that it's a lot of young guys. That's why I'm telling these guys, man, this is the wrong time to be waiting back. Like, let me try to build a fight up. No, sir. There is no more building fights up. Those days are over. We've been building fights up for the past 20 years. It's over. It's time to go. They're trying to build these fights up. It's over. Once that guy Dev beat the crap out of that guy this weekend, because the guy he fought was a pretty tough competitor. And I think that was Dev's I think that was his debut. But yeah, if you go back and look, the guy that's on Canelo's team, Marco Verde, he beat the crap out of him. And he was and he got the gold medal. And if you look at the comments, everybody think that Marco lost. Matter of fact, let me play it for you real quick. Since PD done brought it up, I don't know if people have seen this guy before. Man, I forgot about him already, PD. I'm glad you brought that guy up. That was a good card, too. They've been putting on some good cards, too. They've been putting on some good cards lately. Yeah, shout out to the Zone. They've been putting on some good cards. I think their small cards going to be good this year. That was on that Pacheco card. Yeah, they've been putting on some good cards this year. They've been putting on some very good cards this year. Some very good cards. All right, man. I'm gonna holler at you later on, Punisher. Oh yeah, I thought you was out of here. Yeah, this dude right here, the real deal right here, man. This Indian guy, he's the real deal. Yeah, he just looked like a pro, man. That's why I wanted Amir Khan to kind of box like this. I was like, Amir Khan always had the hands feet. Look at that. Amir Khan always had the hands feet, but I was like, man, come on. Yeah, the guy he was fighting was decent though. I'm not gonna lie to you. The guy he was fighting was decent. I was going for the knockout with Dale, but I was like, man, this guy's kind of tough. He's actually going there to fight. What? His hands that big? Navarrete hands that big? That's insane. Yeah, Navarrete is a big dude for 130, man. Dang, he dropped him like that already. I forgot about that. Yeah. Hey, PD, I know what you're saying. It's always good to see a good prospect, though. It's always good to see a good prospect. It's always good to see a good prospect. Shoot, even Amir Khan beat up Maidana. So you never know. Damn. Woo, woof. You said Shiraz a possible opponent for Canelo if he beats Adames. Nah, I think Canelo, I had put out the information already. I think Canelo was Canelo is leaning towards, from what I'm hearing, Canelo wants, he's still serious about the Dimitri Bivol rematch. I know that sounds crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God, this dude's ridiculous. I'm telling you, it's not because this guy's a straight up bum. Bro, it's not because this Wiggins guy's a bum either. I don't think he's a complete bum. I really don't. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, I don't think the guy who got stopped, I don't think he's a complete bum. I think he's a decent fighter. And look how mad he is. He's mad that he lost, man. Come on now. He came to fight. But this dude got some hands. And trust me, he did a gold medalist just like that. Matter of fact, let me pull the fight up. Hey, wait till you see how he did his gold medalist. But yeah, that's why I was telling people about Keyshawn. Like, we don't know how he would look against Andy Cruz when it comes to the Olympics. We just don't know how Andy Cruz would actually look. But from what we've seen in the past, it was very good. Yeah, PD, I don't know if PD seeing this. He gonna be like, man, what is this? Yeah, I think Shiraz is I think Shiraz was actually, yeah, they had Shiraz out there, Janabik. But I think Shiraz, he ain't gonna make a move unless he can. If he can fight Canelo, he'll take it. But Shiraz, he wants to fight Janabik. That fight will happen possibly later this year. At the end of this year, you probably see Shiraz versus Janabik on a Riyadh season card. If I had to guess, I would say October, December. You're gonna end up seeing Shiraz versus but Shiraz, he's good, man. It reminds me of a mix between, let me think. He reminds me of a mix between, I don't know. I don't want to say like I don't know. He kind of reminds me of like Pacheco a little bit, the way he boxes. They're kind of similar size and the way they're able to put punches together. I don't think Shiraz, they don't smother their punches. At that size, you would think they would, but they don't. They know how to stay on the outside when they need to. Yes, Andy Cruz, he seems like he misses something sometimes. I don't know what it is. And you got to think about it. Keyshawn, looking at some things like maybe I need to see more. But I never felt like he was missing something. But with Andy Cruz, it's like I don't know. He does look good with Bozy Ennis now. I will say that, but I would like to see him. Well, he has tough fights coming up. He had a tough fight. He's gonna have some tough fights coming up. But I would like to see him in a, I don't know if he's going to be in a position where he can go out there and really dog a Keyshawn Davis right now. We got to realize Keyshawn Davis he possibly sparring. He been sparring Abdullah Mason and Shakur Stevenson, guys like that. Oh, no. He said he's trying to get me up out of here. But Shakur Stevenson, nah, I ain't trying to get you up out of here. So he's been sparring people. I think that matters the most. That's why Tank has gotten better as a pro. I think Tank don't get enough credit for that. Tank spars everybody. I know he don't fight some of these people that we want to see, but the reason why Tank has gotten better since he turned pro is because he sparred everybody. You know what I'm saying? Tank, he sparred everybody. He might be a little uppity right now, but Tank used to eat. He got his food whatever he could. He sparred everybody. That's one thing I will say. He's tested everybody. Keyshawn, Shakur, Devin. He's tested all those guys. Tiafimo. Yeah, Janovic tripping. I think, to be honest with you, Janovic's people kind of made a decision that they would, he was drained his own that last fight. Not the one before that. He was terrible. They say it was because he was in Vegas. Nah, I don't know. No way. I just can't go with that because you got to think about it. You're weighing in the day before and you're in Vegas. So anybody knows if you're cutting weight and you got that kind of heat, that would actually help you. That would actually help you. Cutting weight in that kind of heat would help you. Some people will love that. But some people's body retains water a lot more and they don't really sweat as much. Even when you look at Janovic fight, and I'm not being funny about this, he doesn't really sweat a lot. Some fighters, you see them sweating a lot, even when they're training. You see how Terrence Crawford's sweating a lot when he trains. Janovic doesn't really sweat a lot when you see him fight. So you can kind of tell he doesn't have a lot of weight that he can actually cut. But, I mean, if you want to stay at 160, take that risk. But he was supposed to fight Adames first. So I feel like his team is kind of working out something behind the scenes where they're trying to keep him in place so he can keep those belts around. But he's supposed to be fighting Shiraz right now instead of Adames. Adames is the real one who's trying to fight most of these guys because he was trying to fight Janovic first. And then Janovic had the mandatory with Shiraz, and then they worked out some kind of agreement. And now that Shiraz is fighting Adames for the belt, and I'm pretty sure. So at this point, if Shiraz gets the belt from Adames, the only person that have a belt left is Lara, Janovic, and then it will be Shiraz. So if Shiraz goes out there and fights Janovic and wins, he'll have 3 belts, but he still has to have that 1 belt from Lara. And Lara said he's not retiring anytime soon. He's trying to go for undisputed. And they're going to give him an opportunity. Lara's going to have a good chance to get undisputed. He looked good his last fight as well. But yeah, Janovic, he has to fight some names. The one name he did fight that he fought that I know is Denzel Bentley. I thought he possibly could have lost that fight. It was so long ago. I don't even know if he lost it in my mind, but he struggled in that fight. He looked bad. And that was a tough guy. And Bentley is somebody that a lot of fans from the UK said that was fighting a lot of guys on PEDs before he fought Janovic. That's why that fight was so easy to Denzel Bentley. They said he was fighting a lot of guys on the juice. But yeah, it seems like something's missing. But the fact that I was thinking about today that Keyshawn Davis is actually going to be at 35, his brother 40, other brother at 47. Yeah, I think that's going to work out well. A lot of these divisions starting to turn out well, man. A lot of guys who got belts right now, it's getting scary. Because first off, they getting a lot of money offered to them that they can't really turn down. So you got to take the opportunity and put that belt on the line. And most of the time, that's why people want to fight you, especially for like a main event type of fight, because you got the belt. But yeah, as soon as this week, and have y'all seen the undercard for Keyshawn and Davis this weekend? Oh my God, it's loaded. Let me pull up this undercard real quick for you guys. The undercard is amazing. I might talk about it tomorrow. Actually, since you guys brought it up, I might talk about the Bitter Biv and Bivol undercard, and I might talk about this Keyshawn undercard. I just wanted to bring up Abdullah Mason, and I think he's next up. I think Abdullah Mason is definitely next up. He's not slowing down. Don't know if he's the best yet. Don't know if he'll walk through an Indy Cruise or something. He's very young still. Oh, Keyshawn Davis' birthday in 2 weeks. Let me see. But this undercard they have is amazing. This is gonna be a very good undercard. Matter of fact, this is gonna be one of the best undercards the Top Rank has put together in a long time. I don't know if everybody's seen this, but check this out. This is Friday, so on Valentine's Day, this is how it's gonna start off. Wama Lopez de Jesus. Then you got Keon Davis, Keyshawn Davis' brother, Nico Ali Walsh. You got Tiger Johnson. You got Abdullah Mason. You got Vito Melanecki fighting Connor. I forgot how you say his name, but Abdullah Mason's fighting Manuel Jaimez, and then you got Rohan Polanco. Yeah, it's a solid card, bro. Then you got Jared Anderson fighting that guy Marios, and then you got Xander Zayas for Salas Fumer. So for some reason, this German guy Salas Fumer, a lot of people feel like this is going to be a Bruno versus Munguia type of fight. I don't know. I haven't really did too much research on Spumer. I think I'm gonna check it out tonight. I'm gonna see what a lot of these guys. Abdullah Mason got one of the toughest fights on here. I know Melanecki does. A lot of these fights are tough. Might not be, the best of the best, but solid card. And people might look at this card and say, Jared Anderson's fighting this guy. This will be an easy fight for him. You never know, man. I seen Jared Anderson go the distance with a Bridgerweight, and I kind of made the mistake of actually going with him. I think I played like a home. I think I never do that either, too. I don't know why I did it. I think it was kind of like late in the card, so I was just like, I'll just pick somebody. Shouldn't have picked him in that fight, especially with him working with I heard somebody say that recently. What they had said? If he gets another trainer. Yeah, this card is fire, bro. As soon as this card, I'm gonna do the whole card, man. When Friday come, I'm gonna be on here the whole time. Hey, if you want to put a bet down on this fight card too, like a parlay or something, this would be a good one. Gonna have to find out what fights are knockouts and which ones are not. But if you could do a parlay on this card, you'll definitely probably get some bread. Mix that in with the Catterall and Barbosa fight coming on this weekend. This weekend is gonna have a lot of fights. It's a lot of fights coming on Saturday. PBC has a fight coming on this Saturday that I will talk about tomorrow. Well, today. You know, it's already tomorrow. Oh yeah, oh for sure, man. I'm gonna try to do a panel or something. I might do a panel for the fight Friday, so all you guys can just come on and talk or whatever. I never did it, but I might do a live panel for the fight Friday, or I might just save it for. I might just save it for the. I might do a live panel on the. What's the other card? The one with Bitterbeef and Bivol. I'm gonna try it out this Friday though. See how it is Friday after that. Yeah, I might start doing some live panels during the fight. See what people's thinking, what they're seeing. But yeah, this is gonna be a good card. A lot of prospects, man. Top Rank is doing a good job. Yeah, he doesn't fight. PD, he don't fight enough for us to be a fan. He needs to fight more, like for us to even get engaged with what he's doing. He needs to fight more. I know he didn't make weight the one fight, so that I know, you know, he didn't make weight the one fight, but man, you turn around and then you got Shiraz as a mandatory, and people said, well, you know, Shiraz was ducking. Nah, you don't understand. They don't understand that Janovic, it was a lot of guys that's already working with Frank Warren. Cause you know, Frank Warren is with you know, Queensberry Promotions. That's what Hamza Shiraz is with. So when they went to the table to do the mandatory fight with Shiraz and Janovic, that's when they were saying, hey, let's just try to do the Denzel Bentley thing. And then we'll try to, you know, cause they was already trying to do a rematch. So they're like, let's just try to do that, and then we can do a rematch with Bentley and try to go into a fight with Shiraz. But I don't even know if Janovic gonna fight Bentley now. Bentley talking about he's looking for another fight. So I'm like, dude, you gotta hurry up and do something. He has 2 belts and nobody knows who he fought for those belts. I don't even know who the guys are. I'm like, how does he have 2 belts? I know how he got the 1 belt because Andre had left and went to 168, but the other belt, when it came right after that, I'm like, nah. I can't deal with it. And I don't have a problem with Janovic. I like him. I think he's funny, especially when he be tweeting. Somebody tweeting for him. It's hilarious. I don't know if y'all ever seen his tweets before. Somebody's tweeting for him. It is hilarious though. Oh yeah, there's other fights. They have it's about Friday? I don't know about Friday. I know Saturday we have Elijah Garcia versus Goucher. I know Elijah Garcia fighting Goucher that weekend. Let me go to the schedule. I'm gonna just do USA fights because I know Catterall and Barbosa are fighting. Oh, that boy Apucci fighting Friday? Damn. Oh, Apucci's fighting Friday. Dang, I might watch that. Oh, Apucci's fighting Friday. Dang, he fighting in Florida too, Tampa, Florida. Man, Florida got a lot of fights they've been putting on. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. Y'all catch yourself in Florida. Anybody lives close to Florida, Miami has a fight. Dang, they got 2 fights in Florida this weekend. That's insane. I've been noticing too. They got a lot of fights that been going on, and oh yeah, PD. You know they got a fight in Atlanta this weekend. Over there in Jonesboro by the airport. With Brian Norman Sr. and Greg Hackett. Yeah, they got a fight over there in Jonesboro this weekend. Man, I wish I could go. I'm from Atlanta. I'm in Alabama right now. Yeah, it's in Jonesboro, man. Champion Boxing Gym. It's gonna be Saturday. It's gonna be a lot of guys from Boots Ennis Gym. That's gonna be fighting. This guy Shamar Canal. He's with Devin Haney Promotions. Right here, the guy 9-0. He's pretty good. Very good prospect, actually. Dennis Thompson, he's good. It's gonna be a very good fight card. Yeah, they fighting this weekend. On the south side of Atlanta, they're gonna be fighting. Man, they got so many fights coming on this weekend, man. It's crazy. He said with that haircut. Hold on, let me go back. What you saying? I'm a fan because I love, but I know where y'all come from. That's why I said Janet tripping. He need to fight. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. I'm only saying that for Janovic because the only reason I'm saying it for Janovic is because Adame's been calling him out for like a year now. Shiraz, he's not gonna be waiting around for nobody. And then, you know, Janovic's getting kind of heavy for that weight class. And also, 160 is not gonna get easier. Laura's gonna make him, they're gonna force him. If PBC don't do nothing else, they're gonna try to force, you know, Turkey out of shit to be like, hey man, we need to try to put some of these fights together because especially sanctioned bodies. They're gonna be like, hey man, we haven't had anything happen at 160. 160 hasn't really made any moves since Canelo and Triple G left. They tried to have Munguia do something, but it wasn't. Yeah, I want to pick Barbosa in this fight because it's counter punching. I feel like that's gonna be a huge problem for Catterall. I didn't like Catterall's stamina his last fight, and I'm gonna throw another thing out there too. Catterall looked kind of drained this week. Catterall look like he getting heavy for 140. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Catterall look like he look like he a little drained for 140. A full strength Saturday. I think he might be I don't want to be negative like that, but he could be at 85%, 75. Barbosa, he's gonna look the same way he did now on Saturday. Yeah, Abdullah Mason, yeah, the guy he fought last was a knockout artist. Yeah, that's who Rolly fought last. That guy he fought last was a knockout artist, though. I was glad he actually fought him at the end of the year. I'm like, okay, but there's 2 step-up fights in a row. I can't believe Abdullah Mason's fighting the guy who Rolly just fought. That's impressive. He said supposedly the boogeyman was claiming Canelo is ducking. Yeah, I heard people saying that. I'm like, bro, I don't know why people think that Janovic was ready for Canelo. Like, bro, nah. Canelo would destroy Janovic. I think Canelo destroys him. Janovic's inside fighting is not that strong. I don't think his inside game is strong enough to keep a guy like Canelo off. His jab wasn't too impressed by his jab in the last fight. Yeah. They always say he ducking somebody. Yeah, that does happen. That does happen. I know sometimes people say I'm a Canelo hater, then they say you trying to save him. They're like, you're saving him. I'm like, no, I'm not. I want him to fight everybody. But at this point right now, he's about to be 35. And shoot, when Oscar was 35, it was a wrap. I can't believe Oscar retired at 35. But when you look at his resume, you kind of like, well, kind of understand. Man, they got a lot of fights on this weekend. Yeah, they got fights in Nebraska, North Carolina, Philadelphia. Oh yeah, they got Pacino Hill fighting this weekend. Man, they got a lot of fights on Saturday. Yeah, they got Kevin and Yala. Yeah, it's a lot of fights coming on. Trying to see this Elijah Garcia fight. Is it on here or am I tripping? Oh yeah. I'm tripping. Oscar Duarte fight Saturday. Dang, it's a lot of fights coming on. Yeah, Oscar Duarte fight Saturday against Mariano. They have this Golden Boy card. Joel Ariete, yeah, he's a beast. I don't know if everybody heard about him. Joel Ariete, he's a beast. Yeah, they got some names on there. I don't know why. Did the Elijah Garcia fight get pushed back or what's going on? Huh? Hey, let me look something up real quick. Elijah Garcia is supposed to be fighting Terrell Goucher. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Sometimes BoxRec don't be knowing these fights is happening. Gotta be honest with you guys. Sometimes BoxRec don't be knowing these fights is happening. But you know who Elijah Garcia is working with now, PD? He's working with the guy Morrell was working with last fight, Bob Santos. All right, bro. I'm gonna holler at you later on, man. Appreciate that, PD. And they got a lot of fights on here. I'm gonna holler at you later on, bro. I'm about to get up off here as well. I always say I'm gonna be on here a little bit, but damn, bro, you know, I like talking about boxing, so it is what it is. You say you can't fight everybody at the same time. Yeah, I know. If he fought like 3 or 4 times a year, Canelo could mix in them. Look, I think if Canelo was fighting like 3 or 4 times a year and mixing in some little names, like how Jaime McGill did, I think he'll be a lot more sharp right now. I definitely think he'll be a lot more sharp. I'm not a big fan of guys fighting a lot, and then it slows down to like 1 or 2 fights a year. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. It's gonna be so many fights on Saturday. We're gonna be live the whole day. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that Hackett and Norman fight too. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that too. Yeah, I'm gonna be locked in too. That's gonna be man. That Saturday's gonna be nice, bro. You know what I like about this? This is not really a lot of huge names, like mega names, but it's still a whole weekend of just fights. The top rank card is amazing. Yeah, he on status right now. He definitely is. He definitely is. I think that him. I think Canelo beats everybody except I think Pacheco will be a hard fight, and Glaciers. That's just because of the size and height and the power they have. But I think the rest of those guys, from what I'm seeing, it'll be a hard fight for them, especially the guys at 160. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm finna head out in a minute, man. I was just looking at these fights. Cause I'm not even gonna lie. They say that Elijah the fight got canceled. Damn. Saturday had too many fights on anyways. It wouldn't have worked. They got canceled. Yeah, but I'm finna head out in a minute. I just wanted to see. So the fight got canceled. That's disgusting. Yeah, it's a lot of fights on this weekend. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, see one more. Let me see if I got any more cards on here. Nope. Yeah, that's amazing though, man. They got a lot of fight cards in Florida, man. Florida been putting on a lot of fights since I'll say 2020, since the shutdown, which is a good thing. They always have things going on the weekend. Yeah, so they're not having that other fight on there. Oh, Gabe Flores fighting next week. Emiliano Romero. Oh, that's next Wednesday? I wonder if that's on BLK Prime. Probably not. I think that's Pro Box. Or it might not be. It might be Fight Pass. I don't know. They got Robert Garcia putting it up, so. Yeah, they got a lot of fights coming up next week. They got some fights coming on next Wednesday and next Thursday. I don't know if they're gonna show these fights on Sunday. They got one on Sunday, but I don't know if they're gonna show it. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I like UFC. I be hitting on UFC a lot. I hit a lot on UFC. I hit a lot on UFC. I almost hit for like 80,000 this weekend on UFC. That's why I wasn't really going live. I had to like concentrate. I almost hit like 80,000 on UFC. I'm actually better at breaking down UFC than I am boxing. I'm just watching the fights right now because I haven't watched UFC in years. So I gotta learn all the fighters. Oh yeah. Next week gonna be late. Oh yeah, I love Virgil Ortiz though, dog. Virgil Ortiz is a dog, man. Virgil Ortiz is a dog. Virgil Ortiz is a straight up dog. You gotta realize he fought Boychuk, and he had just what Virgil Ortiz only been at 154 since last January. So he's only been at 54 for like a year. You know, his first time really getting any rounds in was against Boychuk. The first two fights at 54, you know, Virgil Ortiz, he only had the fight on the win a couple of rounds, 1 to 2 rounds. And I felt like he should have got more rounds against the guys that he fought, like Delorme and all those guys, but he went ahead and yeah, go ahead and do it, man. It don't take that much. Yeah, it don't take that much. Shoot, you can do it with $1.50. If you know how to do it right, man, you can put up 50-cent bet and make about 8,000. Yeah, you ain't gotta break the bank to put up a bet. You definitely don't gotta break the bank. It's gonna be a lot better once they get these fights going. A lot of these fights are 50-50, so you said you're gonna break down the fights for the Bitter Biv, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. The ones this weekend gonna be tough to break down. Still don't know who's gonna win with a lot of fights. I still don't know who's gonna win with a lot of these fights this weekend. But we're gonna see, man. We're gonna check them out. I definitely like this weekend though. Friday is gonna be insane. Friday's gonna be insane. I like when they have boxing like every 2 days. It's enough talent in boxing to actually do it. People don't know it, but they're gonna see soon. It's enough talent in boxing where guys can fight every couple of days. It's 300 days in a year. We have thousands and thousands of boxers out here. Really hundreds of thousands of boxers. So it's easy to especially good talent. Thousands, so it's easy to make something happen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What you gonna say about that fight? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can. Punish. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it one day. We'll do it together. I'll show you how to put them up. When I do the card, I'm gonna do it like a couple of days before I do it. Then I'll let you see how to do it. Yeah, you made bank on there, bro. I should have been doing this years ago. The first time I did start doing it, I made like $2,000 or something. And this was like in like 20 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty easy. I'm not a guy who gambles, so I never used to like bet, even though I knew who was gonna win. I just don't gamble. But once I started betting, I'm like, hey, I be winning all the time. Cause I was already predicting fights, like you were saying, the upsets, how you be hitting. It's the same thing. That's what happened to me. Yeah, my girlfriend actually told me to start betting. She was like, you need to start betting. You getting all these fights right. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try it. The first big bet I put down was, I think, Joshua and Usyk. That was a huge bet. And it hit. Yeah, what was you gonna ask about the Bochuk and Virgil fight? You said if I agree or see where you coming from. No, I didn't. I saw the fight live on here. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw the Virgil Ortiz and Bochuk fight, I really didn't know who won the fight. Like, to be honest with you, I went back and scored it one time. Well, I went back and watched it. Yeah, I thought it was too. Yeah, I thought it was too. I didn't even see the first knockdown. We were all in here watching it like how I am, like how I'm right now live. And PD was like, hey, he got knocked down in the early in the fight. He was like, that's the second knockdown. I was like, second? I was like, what the first knockdown was? Cause you remember when Virgil Ortiz got knocked down in the first round, they didn't really count it. They didn't count the knockdown till like 2 or 3 rounds later. Cause it looked like it was a flash knockdown. So they didn't count it till like 2 or 3 rounds later. And then he had another flash knock. He kept popping up from the flash knockdowns. I'm like, man. But you gotta realize too, he hasn't been at 54 that long, so that was probably the first time he felt that kind of power, especially at that division. So with him getting flash knockdowns, I wasn't surprised at that, to be honest. I didn't feel like that was make or break. But it was funny when Bochuk said recently that he don't got no power. They was like, how you feel about Virgil Ortiz's power? He was like, he ain't got no power. He was like, power? He said, he didn't hurt me. He said, he didn't hurt me. He don't got no power. He was like, no, he doesn't have no power. He said, I felt more power than that. But I'm like, Virgil Ortiz was throwing some heat late in that fight. Cause it was to the point where Boacek was trying to get him up out of there, but Virgil Ortiz started walking him down. I'm like, okay. He might get him up out of there. Like, he definitely might get him up out. I thought Virgil Ortiz was gonna knock him out. I thought he was, but that was his first real test. I think that was the first time he went over what? When that Delorme fight? What was it? Let me see how many rounds it was. Yeah, he knocked Delorme out the first round. Then he knocked out Frederick Lawson. Well, that was a TKO in the first round, stoppage. I felt like that kind of hurt him more than anything. He needed some rounds going into that fight. I feel like Virgil Ortiz definitely needed some rounds going into that fight. This is a very winnable fight for him, though. I'm not going to say that it's a guarantee he'll lose. He go out there and win, I'm going to be happy. You know, Virgil Ortiz is still from America, so definitely going to support the guys from here. It's going to be a tall task, though. He's probably taking one of the toughest challenges. He said, I think he tripped in the first. Yeah, I did too. He fell really because of the falls. Because I just think yeah, I feel like that too. When I first seen it, I was like, flash knockdowns. Not really hurt like that. Still got to count him as a 10-8 round. I think that's what hurt him more than anything. But yeah, he was throwing some heat late in that fight. Yeah, I kind of agree. I agree with that too. Yeah, but I don't know if he I can't say for sure that he won the fight though. I can't say for sure. I can't even lie to you. I can't say for sure. Just because I haven't really went back and scored it. So could it go either way, draw? Yeah, it could have. It could have. It was that close. It could have. I think another knockdown would have hurt him, but it could have. It definitely could, but I don't know. I think Boacek. It's kind of hard to say because Boacek has gotten better the last 3 or 4 years. So for him to get better the way he has gotten, because shoot, Boacek, the way he fought Mendoza, I was more impressed when I seen that. I was like, whoa. Because him in the Fundora fight, that was kind of what I was looking forward to. So when I seen him and Mendoza fighting, I was like, whoa, this dude is. He's back on point. Yeah, I think it was a draw. Or it could have possibly went either way. I didn't really score it as much. At the end of the fight, I thought that Virgil Ortiz possibly won. I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like that was one of the fights where after the fight, I usually know who won after the fight, like Bitterbeer and Bivol. I thought Bitterbeer won. After Madrimov and Crawford, I thought Crawford had won. But after Virgil Ortiz and Boacek, that was the week after after Madrimov and Crawford. I didn't know who won the fight. I honestly didn't know. I didn't want to say who I thought who won because I didn't know. I was like, nah, I don't know who won. Definitely didn't know who won. But yeah, man, I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. And I'm gonna go live probably tomorrow, but gotta get up out of here, get some things done. Well, yeah, I'm gonna definitely holler at you again, man. I'm gonna try to come back in here Friday a little early. Try to watch these fights. I want to see the undercard. I ain't been watching the undercards like I should be. Yeah, you saw that? You saw that? Yeah, he said he wasn't hurt, bro, but he was hurt. Hey, I'm glad you said that too. He was hurt. He was hurt. Hey, you right. He was hurt. Bocho was like, he had no power. I don't know if he had power or not, but he was hurt though. He was hurt because he didn't try to come forward like he was early in that fight, mid round. The eighth round knockdown versus Latiz. You remember he got straight up. He got up and he was like, "Come on, come on, come on." Then he just started letting them hands go. Now that's when I thought he would have got knocked out. But like I said, the flash knockdowns is more so that he hasn't been in the ring with that kind of power like that. Yeah, that was a good one though. I agree with that one. I'm gonna holler at you later on, bro. All right, man. Good night, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I agree with all that. I don't know. You be looking at things how I do. It's kind of cool. I like that. All right,